Well. It's good to be back, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. It's one of those weird midweek vacation days, but it certainly is good to be back. I did miss you guys, you the tier ones, and you, my co-hosts and buddies. To my right is Paul Reindl, the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
Doing well. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Good morning to you, Benjamin.
Good morning, buddy.
I'm a little tired. It's a long day.
Oh, you're not rested and refreshed after your day off? I'm shocked. I thought you'd be right here, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
You take a vacation day. You're supposed to be well rested.
That's right.
Exactly.
No, I was trying to. Somebody had asked for how many steps I took yesterday at Disney. It's not that many, actually. Like 15,000. That's not.
I would guess 20.
Yeah, it's not that much.
It's like a round of golf. That's not too bad.
No, not too bad at all. I was pushing a double Bob stroller with two turds in it. My 6-year-old turd and my 3-year-old turd.
Getting heavy for the stroller.
They are, but it's also. They are getting heavy. They are too big for the stroller. There's no question. But I'm really glad we had it because dragging them from area to area is no good either.
Do they push back on it? Or do
No, they jump in.
They like getting...
Bro,
they're not like, I'm too old for a stroller.
No, God, no. It's VIP service, man. They jump right in, and Dad weaves them in and out of the park and, everywhere they want to go. But we had a great time, dude. We had a great time. It's one of the few instances when you have a wife with crippling OCD that actually works in your favor. And I mean in your favor. You cannot do Disney more efficiently than we do because of her and her alone. I was telling her yesterday after it was all said and done, I said, thank you for a great day. I hope you enjoyed yourself too. She didn't look up from her phone because she was just getting locked in. She wasn't like texting or like playing on Instagram. She was getting us locked in for the next thing. And that's obsessive compulsive disorder in a nutshell. And it can't be in the moment, really. I'm worrying about what's next. And listen, you use that weakness as a strength at a place like Disneyland, and she just crushed it. Now, if it had been me and the boys, just me taking them, dude, I shudder to think what their experience would have been like.
2 rides.
Max 2 rides. We would have gotten to the first one we wanted to go to, which was
You would have been there the same amount of time.
The same amount of time, but 2 rides. No. If it were just me and them, we would have sat in one line for the second ride, and I'd be like, you guys ready? Here, let's go to the gift shop. I'll buy you guys whatever you want. Let's get the hell out of here. I would have been back home by 9:30. And we left San Diego at 5:30 in the morning yesterday.
You were there early.
We were there early. We were in the parking garage with about 20 minutes till they opened, which was fine. You park, we get down, get to the rope drop area, which was insane. I need people to remember when you go to Disneyland, this is still a society of rules. So when everyone lines up, I texted you guys a picture down Main Street. So they have you there waiting at Main Street.
It's a corral.
So in a corral, though, this is what bothered me. We're all sitting there, many families and strollers. Then you see the people weaving their way up to the front through the people that are already there in line. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
We're all standing.
We
all made it.
It's not specifically a line.
It's not like a single file line.
No,
but it's a group of people in a general line.
And people are sitting there with their strollers, their families, and everyone's waiting. And then you have and they push out of the way, and you're like, so I was just like.
But even though it's not a line, you really shouldn't advance beyond
your area.
Your general area where you have ended up once you get in.
Yes, correct. So that was annoying. I will say this, too. You would think I'm crazy here, but I do have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old who's almost 4. He'll be 4 next week. That dude loves rides. He doesn't care that Pinocchio's running around. He doesn't care that, oh, look at that. Like, he wants to go blazingly fast on a ride. That's what all Taylor cares about. And Bo's pretty down with the same thing. They need more rides.
Well, then maybe you need to go to Magic Mountain instead of Disneyland.
I was thinking about that.
To me, and I get it. I haven't been in a few years, but we did the lightning passes and got
elite.
which is great. But I also like the down moments at Disneyland. The times in between, even occasionally waiting in one of those lines is just kind of a reset sort of moment because there is other things to do at Disneyland. If you're just going ride, then you could go to any amusement park.
Okay, so while I tend to agree that when you're walking from Frontierland to somewhere else, it's cool. You look around, but once you've done it 3 or 4 times, you've done it. You know that that's here and that's there, and we stop here. We got our beignets, which the best food in the park are those beignets. They're just unbelievable. We crush those. But I will say, having more rides. So we did Space Mountain first, which was amazing. And then we did the runaway train. What's it called?
Big Thunder Mountain.
Big Thunder Mountain, elite. So much fun.
Agree.
And then we went over and to Star Wars Land, and we did Rise of the Resistance, and we did the...
I've not been there since Star Wars Land existed.
It's crazy.
So that was
really
fun.
It's crazy cool. And then we did the Millennium Falcon one where you pilot and shoot and all that.
Smuggler's Run.
Smuggler's Run. So we did that. Bro, by that time, we had knocked all of that out in about an hour and 10 minutes. So it's 9:15. We've ridden 4 of the best rides there. And I'm like, what's next? She's like, let's try Matterhorn. Matterhorn had a huge long delay. Oh, we can get on at 7:15 tonight. I'm like, all right. We went to get some food, whatever. We ended up at Autopia, which, guys,
Kids love Autopia. Come on.
Let's be honest.
Parents hate it.
We're waiting for go-karts. You're waiting for a go-kart is what you're waiting for. It's not. You're waiting for a go-kart, which you could do almost anywhere. So we did that. It was blazingly hot. I feel like there need to be more rides. Now, we did end up sneaking on to a Fast Pass came available for the Matterhorn. We ended up going. Taylor missed the height by, I'm talking a grain of rice width. Like a grain of rice. Lady's like, no, sorry. I looked at her, I'm like, you're joking.
It's 41.9
inches tall.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Wait.
So
where in the line was the height measurement?
We walked straight up because we knew most of them were 40. This one was 42, but he'd been banging his head on the 40 all day.
But you didn't wait in line for an hour
No.
to realize.
We walked up and measured first.
Okay.
So Hannah goes, I got the fast passes. You and Bo just go. So we went on the Matterhorn. It was fun, loud, ripped my back in half. But I feel like there needs to be more rides, like rides. For as big as it is, for expensive as it is, I would like more rides. And I don't mean the little pissant, teacups and elephants
Sounds like
flying.
You would like California Adventure.
Maybe do both.
They have more. Yeah, it's a long day, but both is probably a good way to go. Or you do a 2-day trip.
A 2-day trip.
But
all right, next year I'm taking off Wednesday and Thursday. So,
Great,
sorry.
Paul.
no, it only works on Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay,
actually.
okay.
It's weird. More rides though, like more fun rides as opposed to attractions.
And listen, people are listening to this going, hey, bro. People are listening to this going, hey, bro, it's not about you. It's about your kids. I'm telling you what my kids want. My kids don't give a rat's ass about It's a Small World. They want Taylor isn't happy until his hair's on fire going down I'm a little nervous about him in the future. We both are. He's either going to be like a straight edge extreme sports guy, or he's going to be Frank the Tank. There's no in between for him. There's a rush. He needs it. And the second we would get off a ride, I want to go on another ride. I'm like, buddy, we've ridden everything. I want to go on another ride. I'm like, bro, I don't know what to tell you. Like, let's go back to Space Mountain. I'm like, we can't use the Fast Pass twice.
Now, I don't know. I haven't looked up any of the information on this. Megan was telling me recently I don't think it's out yet, but Disneyland is like implementing a new system better than the Fast Pass. It's like $400. You get to the front of every line.
Done. It's done.
It's very
$400 a person.
It's done. Worth it. Are you kidding?
It's problematic to me a little bit.
Why?
Paulie,
You're the problem.
I mean,
you're why Disney is doing stuff like that, because people you're like, $1,600, fine.
No.
That slows down everybody else. Even the regular lightning lines, that's going to slow everybody else
down. Yeah, the guy
down.
that paid $80 is like, F you, man.
It's worth it. I don't like waiting in lines. All right? I don't like waiting in lines at all. You can rip through it faster. I like efficiency. I will pay for efficiency. Right? So I have no problem, none, doing that. And is it just for Disneyland or is it for both? Because if it's for both,
I think they're going to do
I
it
don't
for
know.
both.
I would imagine it's for both.
I wouldn't do
they
I
haven't
wouldn't do
rolled it out yet.
800 a person to do both. But if it was 400
Yeah, I
for
think it
both
would
parks,
be 800 a person to do both. Yes.
whew, that's a little steep. I might if it was Hannah and me, maybe. But even that's pretty steep. Well, no, we would just bang Disneyland. We would just go to California Adventure.
I guess, did they make it that expensive in the hopes that only a few people will actually do it?
I think so.
Because
maybe.
if it's affordable enough for everybody to do it,
And
well,
that's
what's
in
the point?
addition to the admission ticket. That's not. That
Right.
doesn't include your ticket.
Then
That's
they're like,
above and
All
beyond
right, this
the
is
ticket.
this is ultra VIP. That's gonna be $1,600 a pop. I was
Disneyland,
thinking about
it's
it.
brutal,
I was
man.
thinking about it yesterday, and there was I think Kim Kardashian rented it out for the day, and all that kept going in my mind was, all right, A, how does that meeting go, and B, what's that number? What's the number? Like, what do they need to push aside to say, yeah,
all those people who are paying
for
probably
exorbitant.
hundreds and hundreds per person on average when it goes down
yeah.
to admission, souvenirs, food, and everything.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's true. I don't remember Disneyland ever being closed other than
Right?
like
Am I right?
extreme.
Somebody will know this. I
weather
heard
I don't know
or
about
something.
Disneyland.
I heard that rumor that she rented out the whole park, her and Kanye, I think, for somebody's birthday party.
But
I know I've been to Magic Mountain, Six Flags, when it was rented out for like my buddy's company, like rented it
That's
the
badass.
entire park.
That's
It was
badass.
from like 5 p.m. on, so it was open normally throughout
then
the day.
they closed
and then they
it.
closed early.
Yeah.
Bro, it was like one of the best nights of my life.
That's elite.
You got to ride every, and that's
Stay in your seat.
Those are the big
Those are the
roller
big ones.
coasters. And if you rode it once. You walked right up, you got on, you rode it once. And if you wanted to go again, you just did one of these,
Yeah.
spin your hand around. And if they had to wait for 30 seconds to let one new person on, that was it.
So the problem is with having Bo's tall enough to ride most anything now. But if we went to California Adventure, Taylor probably couldn't ride the roller coasters, which he so desires to ride. But we had
I'm not sure.
an elite time. Thank you. Goes to my wife, Hannah, who just, I'm telling you, man, it was like we get off a ride and we'd be like, zip over here, jump on, and go. She's fantastic, man. She was fantastic.
growing up here, we would go to Disneyland once or twice a year, and I don't think it happens anymore. But I distinctly remember a couple of times where we went and the place was just empty.
So rad.
I mean,
Just nobody
it was
showed.
maybe kind of a drizzly day, and no one shows up, and you just walked onto every single ride, go on the same ride 4 times in a row if you wanted, and I don't think that happens anymore. I think, even a Wednesday in the middle of fall is now pretty packed like it was for you yesterday. We did learn yesterday that Sammy had never been to Disneyland, and then he learned he, in fact, has been to Disneyland after his dad texted him and said, when you were 10, we took you to Disneyland.
He had no
recollection whatsoever of his trip to Disneyland. He thought he had only been to Disney World, which he falsely assumed was better than Disneyland, and I had to inform him, no, it's bigger, much, much worse
I'm also going to say
than Disneyland.
I'm not trying to be a jerk because normally I don't care about things like this. This is not really my avenue. It's the year 2024. You need better food options there. And I don't mean food options like I don't need like beautiful dumplings and like off the wall stuff. You got to clean up what you do have. I had a piece of pizza yesterday. Come on. Burger.
Frozen in the middle.
Bro, Bo had a burger yesterday. I was like, it's 2024, bro. This is 1970s cafeteria food at 4-star restaurant prices. Clean it up. People are paying. Do it right. Think about how the ballpark food in your life has improved over the last decade. You're Disneyland. You got people coming in from all over the country. The food there was horrific. And it's the one area, other than the beignets, that we just cannot seem to dial in and find a place that's good. That's good. I don't even mean like
Just
great.
go back, beignets, breakfast, lunch, dinner.
I mean, I would, dude. I'd be 300 pounds, but like there is nothing, like everywhere we go, we've tried all different parts of the park, and there's not a decent meal to sit down quick. And I don't mean sit down at
You got a
Tower
Dole Whip?
13. No, I wanted one. I couldn't find one.
Oh.
It's the other thing. Those little stands. It's hot. It's 90 degrees. Give me something to suck on as I'm walking by.
Corn dog.
Save that. Didn't find any corn dogs.
What?
I wanted some sort of
corn dog.
I wanted some sort of fruit pop to walk around and eat when it was hot. You know what they had? Big fat bags of caramel corn and pretzels. I'm like, nobody wants this right now. Figure it out, Disney. But other than that, it was a great day. We had a great day. Thanks for having us. It was
good to
really,
have you.
really
It's
fun.
good to have you back.
It's good to be back.
All right, we'll get started here. We'll set the menu when we come back. Want to thank Sam Levitt again for coming in yesterday. Did a great job, but we are very happy to always have Woods back on a Thursday. Paulie, Reindl, Ben Higgins, we're with you until 10 o'clock this morning. Kelly's got traffic, and we're off and running. Tier 1's Good Morning. Welcome on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else. Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
What the hell goes on in here when I'm gone? I leave for one day.
Dude.
What the hell happened in here?
Oh, dude. I needed you yesterday.
What happened?
We had good discussions about Mike Schilt potential contract extension. We
Okay.
talked about Ha-Sung Kim.
Okay.
Talked about budget projections and
You guys did your
luxury tax.
You did your World Series picks, huh?
Well, Sammy was here, so we needed to give him an opportunity.
We had
to
like
talk
Adam
about
Jones.
it.
We're like, all right, World
Yeah.
Series starts on Friday. Who you like?
Who does
you
he like?
got? I think he had Yankees in
7.
7.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Ben goes, oh, really? I was thinking Dodgers in 4 or 5.
Dodgers going to sweep.
I think they are quite a bit better than the Yankees.
Quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
There's no shame to it. I mean, I look at their lineup, I look at the at-bats they take, and just it's a much tougher challenge for the Yankees than I think for the Dodgers.
Ben, you do a great job.
It's back.
I bet it's back.
It has to be.
It's unretired.
I mean, now it's out of retirement. Is
I couldn't believe it.
he doing psychological?
That's what I said that. I said, I can't tell if you're serious or if you're like the greatest troll I've ever met.
He's a little of both, maybe.
I mean, I don't want. I said very clearly, I'm cheering for the Yankees.
Okay.
I would love to be wrong, but I
don't
just
believe
my
you.
honest opinion
You
is
love being right more than anything in the
no one
world.
likes
I
to be
usually
right
do.
more than him.
I mean, am I
No
supposed
one.
to lie and tell you I think the Yankees are going to win? I don't think the
Yes.
Yankees are going to win.
No, you don't have to lie. If that's your honest assessment.
It's my honest assessment. I think the Dodgers are the better team. I thought that the lack of starting pitching was going to really cripple them in the playoffs when the playoffs started. That hasn't
It
even
hasn't.
come close to being the
No,
case. In
I
fact,
mean, it's-
if anything, it's gotten better. Yamamoto's gotten better. Buehler's gotten better.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, the weakness that they had going in has not manifested itself at all in October.
Is it wild to you that they're starting Flaherty game 1?
A little bit.
Me too. That's what I thought when they made that announcement. But then again, Dave's pushed damn near every button correctly this postseason, so I guess it doesn't surprise me that much. But Garrett Cole, okay, is Dave Roberts literally doing?
I feel like
is
game
he
one
doing
is
a punt?
A must-win for the Yankees now. Like
Yeah.
it's
Well,
a
with Garrett Cole,
must-win
of
with
course.
Garrett Cole against
And
Jack Flaherty.
Yeah.
The Dodgers win game 1. I am definitely looking potential sweep.
So here's what's funny. I only placed one bet on the entire series, and I'd never really done this before. But you pick the order of the games, and the odds go through the roof. So it's $10,000. I put $100 or $10,000.
Like every single game.
So
like
if I get it
okay.
right, I win 10 grand.
Like Yankees win game
Yankees,
one.
Here we go.
Dodgers,
I'll give you my-
Dodgers,
I'll give
Yankees,
you-
okay.
I'll give you mine. Ready? So I put $100 down to win 10 grand. If it goes like this, I win 10 grand. Dodgers, Yankees. Dodgers, Yankees, Yankees. If
Whoa,
it goes that
in
way,
seven.
I win 10 grand in 7.
So just like Adam said, but down 3-1, the
Down
Yankees
3-1,
come
Yankees
back
come back and win 3 straight.
and win it.
Depleted
4-3.
bullpen. Everyone's exhausted. You know, you had to cover some leverage innings for Flaherty. You had to cover some for Yamamoto. It's weird watching the game tomorrow going, oh, well, I mean, if they're going to, I need Garrett Cole to get lit up a little bit. But no, I would like to see the Yankees in 4. I don't think that's going to happen, but I do think the Yankees will win this in 6 or 7.
All right, you agree with Adam Jones?
Yeah.
And I mean they certainly can. If Stanton stays hot, and Judge connects a couple of times, sure, that can be the complete difference
I
in
think
the
you're
series.
forgetting about a really good player they have in
Juan
Juan Soto. Yeah, he's like a game-changing type person, much like Shohei Ohtani is. I mean, has every bit the hitting prowess of Shohei Ohtani. Every bit of it.
I don't remember Juan Soto doing much against the Dodgers when he was here.
No, I don't really either.
I mean, even in the
He
series
had a
that they
massive
won,
hit.
He had one massive hit.
who won?
He tied the
Yeah.
game.
Tied
That's
the
right.
game.
He did tie the game.
Yeah.
But overall, like during the season and everything, he did most of his damage, I felt, against other teams.
No, he's
than
not.
the Dodgers,
It's not
but-
like
not the same team.
It's not like Juan Soto was like only feasted on crap pitching.
No, I'm not saying that.
you
but
know. So yeah, all right. Well, I saw this in the chat earlier. I dismissed it as somebody's doing a bit with me, but he really did. Dodgers in 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Guy's leaning in. He's really gone full heel. It's very weird to see.
I don't see it as heel. I am absolutely 100% rooting for the Yankees. I would wear a Yankees hat. I want them to win badly.
Yeah.
I simply am pointing out that I think the Dodgers have the deeper lineup,
They got
and
a good
better
team.
bullpen.
They got a good
and-
team, man. They got a good team.
Any advantage that the Yankees had in starting pitching is the same advantage I thought that the Mets and the Padres had.
Sure.
And it was pointless. Didn't materialize at all. So why is it going to make a difference in this series?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, they're both really, really great teams, and I think the edge in starting pitching obviously goes to the Yankees, but I don't think the Yankees have a real slouch of a bullpen either. You know, when they're healthy and rested, Tommy Kahnle is as nasty as can be. Luke Weaver's fantastic. I don't know that you want to. Who's the guy that used to be their closer? I don't know. You want to see him again?
Clay
Holmes. Yeah, dude. Clay Holmes had a rough series last one, but I think they're really evenly matched. I mean, they're really, really evenly matched, and it's a heavyweight. It's certainly a heavyweight slugfest. Certainly, I can't wait for it. I absolutely cannot wait for the friggin' World Series to start tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, as distasteful as the particular teams are,
Sure.
it is a great matchup.
It's a great matchup.
It's a
dude.
great
It's a great matchup.
Woods forgot his favorite thing about Disneyland, so we'll get to that coming up. The rest of the menu, kind of a bit of a random Thursday. We'll certainly talk a little more Padres off-season baseball. There were a couple of topics we didn't get to yesterday with Sammy that I would love to talk about with the Tier 1s this morning on Padres baseball. We'll have Take on Woods. Actually, it's Throwback Thursday, right? We got Real or Fake coming up at 7:10. And we got a new prize, one that Woods would be very excited if he was available to win. Dia de los Deftones tickets at Petco Park on November 2nd.
God,
You don't
what a
need them.
prize.
You've already bought your
bought my
tickets.
tickets,
So
yeah.
you're good for that, but we'll give away a prize today at 7:10. Don't do this at 7:20. It is a Smart Baseball Thursday, so we'll have a Smart World Series preview and see what Eno Sarris thinks about the matchup
Yeah,
between
let's see.
the Dodgers and Yankees.
Let's see if he were a betting man, what he would do.
I don't know what he's going to say, but we will have him on at 8:30. We've got the Reindl Report, our NFL football threesome at 9:20, and then head to Annie and Elston at 10 o'clock this morning. Quick menu set. What Woodsy's favorite part of Disneyland, and some Padres talk coming up next here on Ben Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
back with it.
You mean what, the barber?
Just looked at the YouTube feed. Did you see it?
Yes, I see it.
Sometimes when I go full boomer, Paulie will turn me green, like the Incredible Boomer. Like I'm me right here.
There you go.
But the Incredible Boomer comes out, and I'm, stop bunting, like whatever. And now he lives in me. He's in there. I'd have to tamp him down. But Benny got the royal treatment this morning with the Dodger Blue. And it is something else. Oh, there it is. Mr. L.A. Mr. L.A. It's hard to break free of your connection to Magic Johnson and Dave Roberts. I get it. I mean, there's a part of me that absolutely understands.
I've never cheered for the Dodgers a day in my life. I want that to be be very clear. Never once was I even
except for this,
even when I was like 3
World
years
Series.
old. Never once have I been a Dodgers fan.
That graphic is
I will
amazing.
own being a Lakers fan. I've pulled for the Rams, a few times.
That pulled for the Rams a little bit.
But never once have I ever cheered for the Dodgers.
Old Hollywood Higgins.
Somebody said, why does that look like Ben's natural habitat?
Wasn't unhappy when the Kings won the Stanley Cup. I have some LA in me. I get it. I've never, ever, ever, ever cheered for the Dodgers.
Oh, man. That's a really good graphic, though, Paulie. It really is. I saw, it's funny, man, because, I was at Disneyland yesterday, and I saw
You can take it off now, Paulie.
It looked like a rally. It looked like a Dodgers rally. And I was
That's every day.
No.
Really? You don't think so?
So when we went in May, I think I came back on the air in May and said, guys, it was 94% Padres fans and 6% Giant fans. I'm not joking. I will be 100% honest. As we went yesterday, I went, oh my. Now, Bo does this thing anytime he sees his Dodger fan. He's like, he elbows me. He's like, Dad. I'm like, I know, I see. So all day yesterday, he's like, oh my God, another one. I'm like, yeah, bro, I see it. It's like, it looked like a Pantone 294 rally at Disneyland yesterday. So I was DMing with a buddy of mine that's a Dodger fan. And I said it was a sea of blue. He goes, there's one thing LA loves, it's a front runner. He goes, it's really, really, really annoying.
That they have picked up some bandwagoners, no doubt.
Oh, I mean, obviously, yeah, of course. So it was quite disgusting yesterday. But one guy had a Dodgers jersey on. It was a Dodgers jersey. It had the MLB patch and everything, but the front of it said Disneyland. And I said, man, if they lose this World Series, they're never beating the allegations, ever. They're never beating the allegations of the Mickey Mouse World Series. But it was a lot. But as we were leaving the park yesterday, I was walking down Main Street. I'm ready to go at this point. I'm wiped. I'm ready to get in the car, drive on back, relax. But something brought me to a standstill, and it was this. Are you laughing? You better not be stingy. Trick or treat. Barbershop Quartet. And we've talked about
the famous Dapper Dans.
The Dapper Dans. We've talked about barbershop quartets many, many a time on this show. And I've wondered why it's, gone away. Were you guys getting too many girls? So
They just had to take
you
a
had
break.
to take the pinstripe shirts and hats off. You guys were getting, guys, I got to tell you, I'm crushing too much right now. So I'm gonna take this off for a while. I'm going to go do something else. But the Dapper Dans slayed it yesterday. And I thought to myself, this is maybe the last remaining barbershop quartet on the planet.
At least one that performs daily.
Daily. Don't be stingy, or your nightmares will come true. And just remember.
Life advice from the Dapper Dans.
From the Dapper Dans. Really, really
They were good, though. That was impressive.
Yeah, very good.
Bump 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 dang 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 ding dong ding blue moon blue moon blue moon dip 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 blue 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 moon dip 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 blue 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 moon Dip, 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 bop, 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 dang, 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 dong, dang.
Pantone.
Blue moon.
Just incredible.
Fine.
It's my favorite part of the day, seeing those guys. My phone, I have too many women wanting to give me their number. So I'm leaving. I'm walking away from the band.
Yeah, I'm part of a barbershop quartet. You should see my DMs.
That's insane. So good, dude. So good.
All right, we speaking of the Dodgers, we discussed Shohei Ohtani. I wanted to get more into it yesterday, and we ended up not having time.
Did you guys see him stun in his pictures yesterday?
I saw all the pictures of him, like his advertising campaigns in Japan. Now, why was he in a forest in his like marketing pictures? It looked like there was like trees behind him.
I don't know, but I saw MLB literally tweeted.
The
Fall Classic, is that what it was? Okay.
MLB tweeted yesterday, Shohei stuns in his World Series photo shoot. And it's just him, like, tipping his cap. He's not, like, shirtless with a lion next to it. You know what I mean? Like, he was just, like, tipping his hat. They're like, Shohei stuns in photo shoot.
I mean, he has good complexion.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he's a sharp enough guy. But I don't know. It's weird.
I mean, Ha-Seong Kim is much more
Handsome.
I think, stylish and handsome, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
In terms of,
But he's not in the World Series.
No, he's not.
No.
But I guess this is part of maybe the the strategy to make sure that Shohei is the ambassador of the game that Aaron Judge says he is. And I kind of pushed back on that yesterday. I argued about it with Adam Jones a little bit. I want to get your take on it quickly after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Ulta Beauty. That northbound side of the 805 already acting up this morning, guys. We've got this crash blocking the fast lane right before Market Street. Several vehicles involved. Then up ahead before El Cajon Boulevard, we have reports of another accident. That's been cleared into the center divide. Also collision on eastbound King Freeway near Lemon Grove. That is blocking the fast lane. One vehicle facing the wrong way. The Emerald City came to Ulta Beauty with wicked collaborations from REM Beauty by Ariana Grande. It brushes for Ulta and OPI. Hurry in, these fantabulous products won't last long. See Wicked November 22nd, only in theaters. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So I think today is the official workout day, but there's already been some pre-media. Obviously, Aaron Boone and Dave Roberts have named their starting pitchers for Game 1. And, we've heard the general platitudes of players talking about their opponents, including Aaron Judge a couple of days ago, asked about, Shohei Ohtani and the kind of player he was. And here's what Aaron Judge had to say.
Other than the obvious, what do you admire about Shohei?
Other than the obvious. I feel like everything's obvious. Hits for average, hits for power, the speed. Doing what he did this year with the 50 stolen bases. That's it got talked about a lot, but I don't think it got talked about enough. It's just he's an impressive athlete. The best player in the game, and what an ambassador for this sport.
All right, so everything I think he said was absolutely true until maybe the last 5 words, and it got me thinking, just because you're a great player, does that make you inherently an ambassador of the sport?
Look,
and I talked about this with Adam Jones. I said, Mike Trout is an unbelievable player.
I think he's the automatic comparison.
He's not an ambassador for the sport. Now, other people have pushed Shohei on us so much.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like that's organically Shohei reaching out to become an ambassador to the sport. He is simply the face kind of baseball right now because he plays in Los Angeles and he's a global brand and he, is in a lot of advertisements. But does that make you
it's a tricky word.
An ambassador of the sport?
It's a tricky word. That's a tricky word. It's a tricky title to give someone. The ambassador means that you're kind of out front and center. And I don't think it's something that you can necessarily lobby for or call yourself. I think somebody has to bless you as the ambassador of the sport. what the hell even is an ambassador of the sport?
Well,
Who's the ambassador of the NFL? Who's the ambassador of the NBA? Who's the ambassador of
I think it's
the
tough
NHL?
to be a player, an active player, and also be an ambassador. I told Adam Jones, I think you're an ambassador to the sport.
Adam Jones is a literal ambassador to the sport. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a good, not
Now,
but a.
He brought up, he said, Mookie Betts, where he goes and does a podcast and has players come in and he's talking about the game and, things they love about the game. That is ambassadorial qualities that Mookie Betts, exhibits.
Does that mean Eric Hosmer is an ambassador?
Probably
to
at
the
this
sport?
point now, yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Current players, I mean, I think Mookie's
Current player.
like NFL. Travis Kelce
Travis
does a podcast
Kelce,
in season.
Maybe. Is he an ambassador?
I don't know that he. Yeah.
Yeah, and Satan's Blowfish makes a really good point. Why do we assign ambassador titles to people sharing baseball with people who already love baseball? Like, we don't need an ambassador to the sport. We just love the sport. So, you got us, and, we get it. But Shohei, I think the international scene, number one, is huge. Number two, the fact that he's a pitcher and hitter, and really, really
he's the worldwide face of the sport right now. No doubt about it. But, to me, I don't see Shohei necessarily doing anything other than what he's supposed to be doing and earning his meager $2 million salary by going out there and playing really good baseball.
All right, now,
he went and shot a New Balance ad at some point, and he's in a lot of advertisements in Japan. But does that make you an ambassador just because you're making extra money, taking on endorsements? I don't think necessarily that's the case.
Now, Kurt said something I disagree with. He says Ben is the ambassador for 97.3.
No, Woods is much more the ambassador for 97.3.
I didn't want to say it. I can't call myself the ambassador, but I feel like I am. But I can't say that.
You are the outreach.
Yes.
You are the person who interacts, more on a day-to-day basis.
Correct.
Going up to the tier ones, going up to our listeners. You are an ambassador. I am, I do my job. I do it well.
Yeah.
But you have more ambassadorial qualities.
That's true.
I don't even know if LeBron is a great ambassador for the game. He's one of the best players. He was the best player.
I feel like he's
the biggest face.
I feel like if you need,
I think so.
I feel like if you need something about the NBA, that's the guy you go to. He's the King S, right? He is like.
Is that what an ambassador is, though? Is
Yeah,
it more
but
just growing the game? Like, I would say, Charles Barkley might be a better ambassador.
absolutely.
Great ambassador. Shaq, great ambassador.
Former players are much better at being ambassadors than current
Tough
players.
to be an ambassador when you're
Draymond Green, now, on the court antics aside, Draymond Green is doing postseason analyst work on the games when he's not in it. He does a podcast in season. Is he more of an ambassador than LeBron James?
I mean, LeBron has his, his podcast and show that he does that is promoting the sport as well.
What I'm hearing is, if you have a podcast, then you can be.
I guess that's part of it. How about Luis Ariz?
In 2024, kind of.
Yesterday they announced Luis Ariz is going to be an MLB reporter during the World Series mostly for Spanish language broadcast. But that's an ambassadorial thing to do,
yes.
And it's also, I'm sure, helping him in a way get ready for whatever happens after his career and making more connections. It's terrific that it's something that he can do and has this opportunity to do, but that's an ambassadorial task that he's taken on.
Panadero 619 in the chat says he's one of us. He hides money so he does not get taxed, and he gambles and loses like the everyday guy. He's an ambassador.
It's true.
Allegedly. I mean, it's been alleged, but I guess he was a victim.
And I don't mean it as a criticism. We love Manny Machado.
Yeah.
But, Manny, when he's not at the ballpark, he is, at home usually. He does a lot of things for the community,
sure,
which is great.
He's an ambassador for the Padres.
But I wouldn't call him an ambassador for baseball. And I don't know that I would throw, Fernando Tatis is a great face for the Padres
but he's not,
entertainment, but he's not someone that I would say is an ambassador for the sport, at least at that point.
I'd argue in favor of Tatis.
Tatis is like Ohtani. He's very
Great.
marketable.
No, Tatis was like the face of the let the kids play.
Ooh, yes. That ambassadorial role of like, hey, man, let's let these kids play. That really was due to him. That's a really interesting point you make, Paulie.
Agent of change in baseball, I would say Fernando Tatis Jr., for sure.
You know the coolest freaking thing about baseball that I've just now realized. I've got a 6-year-old son. You guys know him. He loves baseball so much. You know what he's been doing? He's been getting a piece of paper, and he's been drawing a diamond on it. And he has all these baseball cards. And he picks his favorite players, and he puts them in the position. He will actually, probably not supposed to do it, he tapes them to their position. And he walks around with this big mobile that he's, Dad, look at this. You know the coolest friggin' thing about it? He has Jazz Chisholm at third. He loves Jazz. He loves the Flash. He has Gunnar Henderson at short. Completely different player than a Jazz Chisholm. He's got Aaron Judge in right. He's got in center. He's got Tatis in right. He's got gritty Bryce Harper at first base. He's got Zach Geloff playing second base. You can like it all. Like, isn't that cool? Like, it's not just, oh.
I'm impressed that a 6-year-old knows who Zach Geloff is.
He is so sharp. But that's the thing is, like, all of these guys in their
own ways,
totality, right, make up this great game. There's guys out there, if they were doing their lineup, trust me, Jazz Chisholm wouldn't be in it. I'd have a gritty, grindy third baseman in it like Nolan Arenado. Bo likes a little bit of what every player brings, and I think that kind of blew my mind when I saw that, man.
All right, we are done with 1 hour. That was fast. It's good to have Woods back.
It's good to be back.
Time flies when Woods is having fun. And since I'm already talking LA, might as well just dive into it. Did an LA team open the greatest arena in the history of arenas last night?
I'm hearing good things.
I am too. That and Real or Fake coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan. Steve Ballmer's new palace officially open for business. They'd had a couple of concerts in a preseason game, but fully activated Intuit Dome last night as the Clippers hosted the Phoenix Suns. Welcome back, Ben and Woods, here on 97.3 The Fan. We've got Real or Fake coming up in a couple of minutes. If you'd like to be our contestant, chance to win Dia de los Deftones tickets, 833-288-0973. So we had heard, some of the details, obviously, as they were building this $2 billion arena the last couple of years up in Inglewood, but really got to see it in action last night. And I saw a few of the videos of the technology that they have, the 4K Halo board that's two-sided, that's gigantic, that goes around the whole arena, and what they can do with it. The entry, facial recognition technology. So if you've got you buy your ticket in advance and you go onto their app and register basically your face, you just walk right through. They call it like a zoom through.
It's unreal.
You don't have to stop and show your ticket to anybody. It scans your face and they go, oh yeah, that guy's got a ticket. We already know him. We know his face.
Are you kidding
me? You
me?
just walk right in. The details that they have thought of in this place, they upgraded like the traffic signals all around the Intuit Dome in Inglewood so that they can control them both before and after the game. So like more greens on the way in and more greens on the way out to get people in and out of the arena faster. There's a real Jurassic Park spared no expense vibe to this arena that Steve Ballmer built. And the signature feature, which was on display last night, the wall, which Ballmer came down when they were, brainstorming ideas and came down to Viejas Arena and saw the show.
Retirement
jersey. And he was so impressed by the show.
Yeah,
he
that's
said,
right.
I want to do something like that. So what they built, they call it the wall. And it's a seating section right behind the basket that the opposing team is headed toward in the second half. And it's 51 uninterrupted rows. So no, there's no tunnel or anything. It's just a wall, and it's steeper than any of the other sections. And you have to shoot your free throws right into it. And yesterday, Kevin Durant, was one of the guys who got fouled in the second half, went to the line for 2 free throws, 88% career shooter. Missed them both and said, it's hard not to just look at that thing. They're right on top of you. They're screaming. And by the way, anytime they miss 2 consecutive free throws in an opposing team, free Chick-fil-A sandwiches for everybody in the wall. So they are going absolutely nuts to try to get you to miss. You have to register to buy tickets in that wall. You have to register yourself as you have to follow the Clippers Instagram, be a true Clippers fan. There's no opposing colors allowed in the section. And, they'll do whatever they can to try to distract you. And it worked. And even the Suns players admitted, it's hard not to. I haven't seen that since anything like that since college. This is different from most NBA arenas.
That's pretty crazy.
Made a pretty big impression on people last night, and everyone's saying really kind of goes to the top of the list already. All the seats have you can do interactive games. When you do the helmet shuffle at Petco Park, and you just yell, oh, 1, 2. They actually have the buttons so you can
vote,
pick and vote and do everything at your seat. They have, how the make noise and louder, and you do the decibel monitor. I'm always skeptical of those. They're just randomly assigning numbers. They don't have a real decibel. They actually do at the Intuit Dome. In fact, they can specify by the seat how loud each person is. They can use their technology and go, oh, this is the loudest fan right now. They are literally the one in row 17 that is making the most noise in the entire arena with their technology. Over 1,100 toilets, 3 times the number of a normal arena, so no one ever has to wait. It's a definite marvel, to be sure.
Yeah, 51 uninterrupted rows of seats. Toilets! The first 13 rows are filled with Clippers diehards whose fandom is vetted by the franchise beforehand. So we wanted tickets. We could not get tickets in that spot.
No, we don't have our bona fides.
That is pretty cool. And certainly with that home field advantage and that new home court advantage and that new arena, you won your first game.
They even No, they lost in overtime. There's only so much you can do when you don't have Kawhi Leonard on the court, and your team is definitely not at full strength. They even have a new musical Clipper theme composed by Hans Zimmer. It's like Hollywood, like Pirates of the Caribbean, Interstellar, does big movie music, compose their own theme. So definitely like the guy who owned Jurassic Park. That's the voice of Richard Kiley. We spared no expense.
It's amazing.
Steve Ballmer spent everything.
I was in Buzz Lightyear yesterday, and Buzz was talking to the crowd as we were waiting in line, and I said, well, that's not Tim Allen's voice. You couldn't have gotten Tim Allen. Now, of course, you go to Pirates of the Caribbean. It's Johnny Depp at the very end. He's sitting there and yo ho ho. It's really his voice. Tim Allen did not do Buzz Lightyear in the ride, which I noticed that yesterday. So they did spare expense.
They did spare an expense.
They did. Steve Ballmer would never let that fly.
No.
That place sounds amazing. I'd like to go to a game.
I am curious at least to go and see what it's like.
Yeah.
They have the wave, which they use the Halo board, and then it starts like raining, and then the LED lights. It looks like rain in the stands.
So cool.
It's all coming
like a
down.
Sphere with a basketball court.
It's like the Sphere, but a basketball game essentially.
You could absolutely play basketball in the Sphere, and it would be the greatest experience of your life. Yeah, that sounds really, really cool.
So
good.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to help them win games or not, but even the Suns admitted. I mean, no, that wall is it's a distraction.
KD said it got him.
And the Clippers came back in the second half. They were down double digits early and helped in the second half as they came back, and they had a chance to win. Harden had the ball at the end of regulation and at the chance at the end of overtime, and they just could not get it done yesterday.
Yep.
So, all right, do you want to play a little real or fake?
Yeah,
we got
let's
some
do it.
contestants on the line. All right, let's get to it.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. You can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
Tell Neil, who is going to be our contestant, that he can win a pair of tickets to the sold-out Dia de los Deftones at Petco Park on November 2nd, featuring the Deftones, Idols, Paris, Texas, and more. Wood's a big fan. How many times have you gone?
I've been to every one.
Every single one?
Every single one.
There's 4 or 5 of them now?
5 of them. Yeah.
Neil, good morning to you. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
All right. So Woods wants you to win this prize. He can help you win this prize. Maybe. We'll see. All right. Today on Real or Fake, it is basketball season. Being an NBA player, really good job if you can get it. And you don't even need to be particularly famous to make big money. Today on Real or Fake, Neil, I will give you a name. You tell me if they are a real NBA player who has a contract worth at least $100 million or a fake, in this case, an NFL player with a contract worth $100 million.
Ooh, here we go.
They should be like superstars, right?
Right.
Every single name that I am going to give you is making nine
figures.
$100
million.
All right, are you ready to go, Neil?
Let's do it.
Let's go,
All right,
baby.
round 1. Jarrett Allen, real or fake basketball player making at least $100 million. Jarrett Allen.
Fake.
Cleveland Cavaliers, 5 years, $100 million. All right, that's all right. You only need 4 out of 7 right. You don't need to get them all.
I would have said fake as well. I thought Jarrett Allen.
Jarrett Allen is.
I don't know that you make $100 million.
I think Jarrett Allen's retired as well at this point. So, all right, let's go round number 2. Chris Lindstrom. Chris Lindstrom, real or fake, Neil?
You got an inkling on this, Wood?
Sounds like a basketball player to me. I'll say real.
Neil?
I'm going to have to go fake.
Oh,
ooh,
look at that.
And he's right. Atlanta Falcons offensive lineman Chris Lindstrom.
All right, good call.
Making 9 figures. All right, that's 1 correct. Let's go to round number 3.
Fade me all day. I don't care.
John Collins. John Collins, real or fake basketball player with a 9-figure contract, Neil?
It's a pretty generic name.
So generic.
Real?
Real.
Utah Jazz, 5 years, $125 million. All right, you're on a roll now.
Speaking
That's
of
2
generic,
right.
the Utah Jazz.
All right, we let's go to round 4. Devin Vassell. Devin Vassell, real or fake basketball player?
I think real.
Real.
You think so?
Yeah, real.
San Antonio Spurs, 5 years, $135 million. All you need is 1 more right, and you are going to win our game. Brian Burns, Brian Burns. Real or fake, Neil?
What?
Basketball.
Basketball,
Real.
he says. Neil, you didn't go with him last time. What about this time?
I'm going with him.
Real. Damn it! New York Giants offensive lineman Brian Burns. All right, that's all right. Let's go to round number 6. You got a couple of chances here. Chris Jones. Real
I know
or
this
fake? He knows this one.
Yeah.
He's definitely a football player.
Football player.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
Kansas City
boy.
Chiefs. That's a win. Congratulations, Neil. Hang on the line. Paul
Neil,
will get your information.
I will see you at Dia de los Deftones. It will be one of the best nights of your year. It's so epic.
Trey Murphy III, Woods.
That sounds like a basketball player.
It is. New Orleans Pelicans, 4 years, $112 million.
I've never heard of a lot of those.
That's
No
why I
doubt,
put them in
man.
Brian
the bank.
Burns makes $100 million. in the
$100
NFL?
million
Is he like
in
a
the
guard
NFL.
or
Who
something?
is he?
Yeah, he's let's see, he plays for the Giants. Let's see. Let me get his specific position. Because I don't know linemen that
Defensive
well
end.
either. Defensive end for they're all somewhere on a line, defensive or offensive.
Tough night for the Pelicans last night, Benny. Losing.
Yes, they did. DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte Murray. Fractured left hand's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. Tough. I was listening to some NBA radio driving in. It's no big deal. It's just what I do now. That's just what I do.
You're very excited about the start of basketball season.
Yeah, I got home last night, and there wasn't a lot on, and I was pretty wiped. But I didn't watch any games, but I was following along. I'm sure you guys talked all about the LeBron and Bronny moment.
We did.
What were your thoughts? All right. I'm going to guess Paul was all in on it. You liked it.
Paulie did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
You had no problem with the Bronny moment.
Bronny and
No, I thought it was great.
Okay.
Yeah, great
and
for the game.
Now I think Ben. I think you might have gone a little edgelord on it.
Nope. I loved it.
You loved it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I did see those tapes.
Oh yeah. I saw
And
many.
I said it yesterday morning. I said
They're fair
anybody
takes.
that does no, it's
They're
not.
fair. They're fair. It's a fair take.
No, it's not.
To say it's manufactured is it's fair.
To have a problem with it is
To have a problem
lame.
with it is lame, but to say that it was a
Oh
manufactured,
yeah, it was at 100%. Everybody knew. Everybody that had been paying attention,
They knew
exactly what was
Bron
happening.
wanted this.
And
I
it was
wanted
a
it for
once-
years.
Once
And
in a
when
lifetime moment.
When the moment itself happened, dude, the audio of him. You ready?
Oh, that
Play
was.
that.
We
I-
played
yeah,
that. It
I-
was great.
All right,
I loved it. It gave me
don't let the
goosebumps.
intensity be too much.
Yeah, hey,
like-
you see how intense it is? Yeah, it's just a father and son, man. Like I thought that was the raddest thing. Yeah, and obviously people ripping on Bronny for his lack of ability right now.
I guess it would
is
be
what it
nice
is.
if every NBA player could
Got
have
to do
that
that.
with their son, and that obviously will never, ever happen.
Play in
But-
the league for 20+ years.
But yeah,
and you
Be
get a
LeBron
chance.
James, and we'll have a shot.
LeBron is LeBron, and if anyone's earned it, he's earned it. And by the way, while of course Bronny is not at a level where he should really be a
Right.
daily NBA player at this point, when he was in high school, he was projected, like a lot of people said, probably going to play a year and then be a second-round pick. If he hadn't had a heart attack,
Yes.
he probably would have been on this track anyway. Now you look at him on the court and you go, he's a little undersized. It might be tough for him to ever
Late
develop
second-round
into
picks
a.
don't get a lot of minutes on opening
Yeah,
night.
exactly.
The fact that he got any was manufactured.
There was artificiality to it, to be
Still
sure.
cool though.
But he didn't look overmatched out there, you know.
He got off a really good look
Got a
on a
good-
three. I thought he had it. When the whole place just goes like this.
That was the only disappointment. If they had made that, it really would have just been the perfect night.
LeBron in that game with one of the sickest dunks I have ever seen. Not only from a 40-year-old, but the fact that he's 40 and threw it down like that was
And
was
I loved how
ridiculous.
LeBron appreciated it after the game. He basically said this was like a perfect day.
That's so cool.
Woke up, it was my daughter's 10th birthday, and I was with my family, and I go to work, and I'm with my son, and he's there with me, and then my family comes to the game, and we have this moment, and they come. I mean,
Like
I've been waiting for years. It was literally my perfect day as a dad and a basketball player.
It's not
and they won the game, and they played well.
It's not the big travesty that so many in the media are
No.
painting it as. It's not like I saw Michelle Beadle lost her mind about it. Like holy crap. And then somebody made the point, Michelle, you were waiting tables until your dad got you a gig because he knew the president of the Spurs. You know what I mean? Like, everybody that can have an advantage, it doesn't mean that they didn't earn it, in some way, shape, or form. But I thought it was a really cool. I mean, if you're a dad and you see that moment, You go, or
Wale
if you
at
have
work,
a dad, Paulie.
I was watching it at work with Wale. He was almost in tears. Like, this is so unbelievable.
Wouldn't you have loved your dad to bring you out on the court?
I would have loved my dad to bring me anywhere.
To do anything.
Anything.
Just take me for an omelet. or
Watch a
something.
basketball game.
Makes my skin crawl. Benny, you play golf with your dad a lot.
I do.
How special is that?
It's always special.
Every single time. I'm horrible at golf. And I love playing with my dad because guess what? It's one of his life's passions. It's so fun to be able to go out and do that. Now, obviously, it's not at the level that these guys are doing it at, but that just happens to be the level that they're at. Don't expect many more minutes for Bronny, right? For the rest of the season.
I
But they
wouldn't
got their
think so.
moments.
Now, if they force him to like play a bunch, like LeBron goes, "Oh no, we need him.
No,
to
we gotta have
up
him."
his minutes a little bit." Okay, then we can let the hot takes start to fly.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we will come back. Don't do this. Actually, the other end of the basketball spectrum last night, one of the worst teams doing something you almost never see in an NBA game. For Don't Do This when we come back. Neil, hang on the line. Paulie's going to get your information. We'll be back right after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
We're just 2 days into the basketball season. You may not see this again all year. In fact, I don't know the last time it was actually called in an NBA game, but the Detroit Pistons.
I meant to ask you, this is not some, you see in football 12 men on the field all the time.
Of course.
You see it once a game.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, there's a lot of
Moving
confusion
parts
and moving parts when it comes to switching out
Punt
special
team.
teams.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Someone thinks, oh, this guy's injured, I'm supposed to go in,
Right.
and no one told him, oh, no, he's back.
This
and then
was
you end up
wild.
with 12 on the field. It happens. But in baseball, like you rarely see a 10 men on the field penalty.
Adult league, you'll see two guys run out to the same position, but one of them will go,
They don't
right?
stay there.
They don't stay
But
there.
in the NBA, it is so blatantly obvious when you have an extra man on the court. There's only supposed to be 10 players on the court.
Five apiece.
When there's an 11th guy out there, it really
feels weird.
But it actually happened yesterday in the
Amazing.
Detroit
Especially if you're
Pistons.
playing like a man defense.
Yeah,
like,
well,
one
and they-
guy's just wandering.
And they were. So they came out of a timeout. New coach J.B. Bickerstaff. They came out of the timeout, and no one caught it for like 5 or 6 seconds. They inbounded the ball.
inbounded.
And there were 3 Pistons coming up, like breaking the press. And then they got across half court, and there was man-to-man, and 2 guys were covered, and one guy was wide open in a corner and going... How does that happen that he's wide? Because, you have 6 and they have 5. You're on the power play. For the first time in the NBA, we had a power play, 6 on 5, and they assessed a very rare technical foul to J.B. Bickerstaff for 6 players on the court, and he was yelling at the rest. He was trying to leave the court.
No,
I go,
he wasn't,
No, he
bro.
wasn't. They were all,
They showed it.
they were all out there just playing.
The announcers did the thing where he's like, look, all right,
Tell us
1,
better.
2,
3.
3. Now look down here. 4, 5, 6. Come on, bro.
Now that would be a wrinkle to change the NBA.
With a penalty?
Fouls are like penalties in hockey,
Power
2
play.
minutes, and the other team, you're either playing 5 on 4 or the other team just gets a sixth guy.
could you stop any if you had one extra man in the
basketball,
NBA?
no.
You'd have to play a zone sort of defense. But
Right.
I don't know that you could ever stop anyone. They'd have
What's your zone
pretty
if you're a
much
man down? 2-2?
You'd pretty much get an uncontested basket
1,
every time.
3?
You make enough good passes, you can beat a zone 5 on 5. If you have 6 guys, it's no problem.
Adam Paul says
Done.
it happened a couple years ago in a Sixers game. Who were the culprits? The
Well,
Sixers?
they are the Sixers, not the Fivers.
It's
so.
actually 76ers. The 76 man on the field. Yeah, I saw that last night. I had to laugh. It's just not something you're going to see
No.
a whole lot of.
I want. Has there ever been a 10 men on the field like an extra baseball? I mean, you would know obviously.
No, it
when
would
you
be
go in
way
between
too
innings,
obvious.
Like, why are we both out here at shortstop at the same time?
This is a pretty funny story for Don't Do This. There's video of it, but I'll describe it. It's a Zamboni driver from Gatineau, that's an area in Canada, I guess, was arrested for, he resurfaced the ice.
Like he's supposed to.
As he's supposed to. It's his job. He was under the influence. He had a few too many. And he was also dressed as a kangaroo. You heard me right. With a hood over his head as he begins to resurface the ice.
Was the hood part of the kangaroo costume?
It was like
with the ears?
Yeah,
the
the
hood
ears,
with
the
the
whole
ears.
thing.
Okay.
And he's hammered, and he's driving this Zamboni, and he loses control of it, and it smashes into the wall near the end of the video, and he was arrested. That is driving under the influence.
That is a vehicle. You're operating a motor vehicle.
ZUI.
Zamboni.
Under the influence. Maybe he was just a day early because it is National Kangaroo Awareness Day. today.
Maybe, but they hauled him away, man. Yeah, you can't drive a golf cart under the influence. You can't drive a Zamboni. You can't operate a moving vehicle under the influence.
You can do the Autopia at Disneyland after having a couple because it's on a track.
That's
and
true.
You can't really mess that up.
Yeah, but who would? Who would?
A lot of illegal activity at every golf course every day,
know.
apparently.
It's a good point.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think it's on a road.
City roads.
City
yeah.
roads, But this wasn't on a city road. This was on the ice.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, you wouldn't want to accidentally run over someone with one of those Zambonis.
No, you would not. But him losing control of it, and then it just, bam, right into the wall at the
Andrew
end.
says, fun fact, you can get a DUI for riding a horse under the influence.
I've heard about that.
I have not heard about that.
Bicycle?
I think you can. Bicycles
I
and
think
even
you
like
can as well.
skateboards,
Anders says, is
longboards.
anything you can steer. Can you steer a horse? Doesn't the horse?
Oh, yeah, no, you can steer
I mean,
a
you can hope that you can steer a horse, but ultimately the horse is just going to go where the horse wants to go.
That's not true at all. If that was the case, then the Olympics would be one big crapshoot. The lady, or how about at Del Mar? Do you think they just wind them up? The guy's like, "Here we go. This should be fun." Of course you can steer a horse. Of course you can. In fact, the ones that do it better than anyone, they win a lot of money.
Just going around backwards.
Here we go, buddy. Oh God, he just starts zigzagging. Of course, of course. That's great. What's your do this?
All right, do this.
DD mega doo-doo.
I'm all about doing your civic duty, so I'm going to shout out Brandon Aubrey, the kicker for the Dallas Cowboys, who was missing from practice yesterday because he was serving jury duty. Not only reporting, but he actually got seated on a 12-person
Selected.
felony assault case in Tarrant County in Texas. It's a case is reportedly centered around a second-degree strangulation charge and may actually be one of those cases that lasts several days. So he may miss practice today and tomorrow and into next week. Now, the Dallas Cowboys, according to some reports, did try to pull a string or two and say, can we get him off and delay him until the offseason? He said,
Jerry Jones.
He said, no, I'm going to do my duty. I've been
Spanking
seated on
himself.
this trial. Now, maybe he's just next level going, I don't have to practice. I can still play in the games Sunday. There's no court on Sunday, so I'll just show up and
Good point.
kick. The
Just a kicker, yeah.
Cowboys play the 49ers. What am I, miss a couple practices, a little running that we're supposed to do, and I'll just show up for the game on Sunday. Thank you, and then I'll go back to my trial
way to
on
get out of
Monday morning.
practice.
That's a brilliant way to get out of practice.
And
I always gave blood in high school to get out of having to go to practice later that day.
Yeah,
Said
that's
you
a good one.
can't do activities.
Yeah, need to rest. I
Yeah.
need to have
Sorry, Coach.
my cookie and my juice.
Just wanted to save some lives.
the
Sorry.
coach really couldn't say anything about it, even though he was probably ticked off.
He was pissed.
But he can't go like,
Can't call you a name.
he can't.
He literally met
discipline you
he
or
met me
anything,
and my
yeah.
buddy in the gym where we were
to
having
see.
all the beds and everything. He met us there and was hoping to beat us there when he heard that we
stop
were going to be giving blood. And he runs into the gym and we're already sitting there with the needle in our arms,
Smiling at him like,
Sorry,
"Too late."
cookies in hand.
Sorry, bro. I'll see you at the game, though.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be good to go on Thursday night. Don't worry.
Yeah, the jury duty is an interesting one.
Have you ever done it?
I have once. Some reason I don't get the summons anymore.
You don't get the summons anymore, or you throw away the summons when you get it?
I just don't see them.
Yeah, same here.
Selective
I've never seen
vision.
them.
I haven't got one in a while. I've served on 2 juries. I was the 4-person on a jury.
Of course you were.
What was the charge?
I did one with solicitation, prostitution, and that was the one I was the 4-person. And I was
did
also
that?
on a DUI case.
Tell me about it. The solicitation one.
So the solicitation
Keep
one,
it
I
vague,
believe. Well, I don't know the names of anyone involved, but it was a lady who was arrested for, I think it was up in Escondido somewhere, and she was basically just standing on a street corner.
Where
you know.
specifically in Escondido?
I don't.
Go for research purposes.
Like you said, not too specifics. But the cops who arrested her didn't really have anything on her other than she was dressed provocatively
Right.
and, was in a known location of solicitation for prostitution.
So
But
she
they
didn't actually solicit
She didn't actually
anyone.
solicit anyone, so we
You can't
found
get
her.
arrested for dressing
Well,
provocatively.
they did, but we found her not guilty.
Look at you.
Yeah.
The wheels of justice.
Now
And
the-
you were the 4-person in this one?
I was the 4-person. I wanted to make sure that we efficiently handled that one, and we got out of there pretty quickly. Yeah.
Do you volunteer or do you get
well,
deemed the 4-person?
So no, I volunteered on that one. Once we were in there, you go around. Once you're in the jury room,
He said nobody knows solicitation like I do. Nobody.
Quiz me.
I said, no, I
got you.
Listen, I can spot it a mile
They
away.
said,
I can tell you right now, she's innocent.
has anyone ever done a trial like this before? And I said, I've been on a jury before. And they said, well, you want to be the 4-person? I said, sure, I'll do it. So you just kind of organize and make sure you get everyone's kind of vote. You do secret ballots, and you look, okay, we got 9 not guilties and 3 guilties. And then you talk it over a little bit more about, okay, why do you think they're not guilty? Why do you think they're guilty? And it was simply...
Was it 9-3?
I don't remember. Well, I mean, it has to be unanimous before you
but-
decide. But
right.
originally, it was like 9-3. And
Really?
I kind of convinced the other 3. Okay, obviously, probably she is a prostitute. I mean, but did they actually prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt? And I think
You can't just
based
guess.
on the evidence, I think the clear answer was no. I mean, they
If
didn't
the
really
stilettos
have
don't fit. You must acquit.
must acquit.
anything specifically on it. Now, the DUI case I was on was actually a little more interesting because it was a guy. They never actually pulled him over for DUI, but they had him in the bar, like the bartender serving him a ton of drinks, and his car was there. And then he went over to like his ex-wife's house and was causing a disturbance. And they knew he must have driven over there, so they had to kind of go through a lot of the testimony establishing.
Piece it together.
Okay, he was here, then his car was there. We know his car was here. We have the evidence of this and that. And he was like, I didn't actually buy a drink at the bar. Whatever. But the bartender like had to come in and testify. No,
Wow.
actually, we did
Serve
you drinks, and and then you were definitely here. And the ex-wife had to testify. Yes, he was at my house and acting, extremely erratic and agitated, and his car was there in front,
Guilty.
and it had been, and we did find him guilty on that one.
Wow. Yeah, I never got selected. I went.
Oh, you just went and did the day.
I went
and
and did
then
the day
Got
and
released.
got
Well,
released.
that's
I'm
jury duty. That's
Oh, isn't it?
no. I mean, it is.
No, I've never had to serve on
Yeah.
a jury. You don't want me on there.
No,
No attorney wants me on
probably
there.
not.
No. That's fascinating.
And that's don't and do this for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
It's almost 7 years in. First time I've heard he's letting prostitutes go free. I've never heard this.
Alleged.
Alleged prostitute. Yeah, forgot that. Good for
Keep
you.
the stories coming, man.
Yeah, just
welcome.
whatever you think is not interesting, it is. All right?
All right, Padres. We talked about the with Sammy yesterday how even to bring back the players they had this season is going to be costly and put them over the salary
They're still beating
luxury
this
tax
drum.
level. But there's some new projections out for
It's a
what
long off season, man.
It is.
what it may cost to bring back guys like Jurickson and Profar.
This guy's a kook, I think.
Is he?
I
Okay.
think he's a kook.
I
But we'll
mean-
talk about how kooky some of these numbers are.
All right,
Because I was at Disneyland yesterday with my wife going, this can't be right. This cannot be right. What is this? Divide this for me. That's a true story.
We will get to that next with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Woods is very skeptical that the account MLB Executive Burner may not, in fact, be an MLB executive posting inside information about the sport.
I've had some experience with this guy. Now, if it all comes out and he's right, I'll give credit where credit is due. But this guy's a bit of a kook. I've seen some of his stuff before.
All right. Well, maybe we're giving it too much oxygen.
Yeah, it's fine.
But,
it's the off season.
I mean, there is a number that is going to come in for players like Ha-Seong Kim and Jurickson Profar this offseason. What that number is, we don't know. So all we can do is speculate. And these are, whether he's right or wrong, he has speculated on some numbers. We will talk about those coming up right after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
This report is driven by Kearney Mesa Volkswagen. Just one problem, guys. Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows collision on northbound 805 right before Claremont Mesa Boulevard. Several vehicles involved. They're all over to the right shoulder. Carve out a great deal on the 2024 Volkswagen Taos S front-wheel drive at $197 per month. This compact SUV is more treat than trick. Visit Kearney Mesa Volkswagen, proudly local and veteran-owned. For more details about this offer, head to KearneyMesaVolkswagen.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So, yeah, I mean, maybe this guy has no idea what he's talking about when it comes to, projected contracts, but you don't get real MLB GMs, speculating about what guys are going to cost.
Right.
It's just not something they're going to talk about. Doesn't do them any good to throw out numbers that are either way too high or way too low. Those conversations happen in private with agents, and that's how it works. And we find out, at the end, what they end up settling on. But there are numbers that are going to get this done, and I think Jurickson Profar is obviously one of the more interesting free agent cases we've seen in quite some time in Major League Baseball. If you knew nothing other than what Jurickson Profar did last season and just looked at his numbers in a vacuum, an all-star appearance, over 20 home runs, a career high.
You saw what he made last year.
OPS, one of the top outfielders in the National League all season long. You would clearly go, oh, that guy's, based on what other salaries are in baseball, $20 to $30 million a year player. No doubt about it. But this is not a vacuum. We have a big pile of data on Jurickson Profar, who has been in baseball for more than 10 years, got his 10-year chip of service time. Wasn't it during early last season, I believe?
Early last year.
So there's a lot of data on Jurickson Profar. And he does a lot of things well. He got a good eye at the plate, works at bats well. He's a good teammate, plays, decent defense in the outfield. He's got a good, accurate arm. And has got a nice swing, but over the first 9+ seasons of Jurickson Profar's career, didn't add up to a player that was necessarily considered a premier offensive threat in the game.
Had some good years. He's had some
Absolutely.
good years in Oakland, good years in Texas, but good years. Last year, was really, really special for Jurickson Profar. And I know, he tailed off at the end of the year, but you'll remember, man, he was well over 300 for a lot of the season. Tailed off again, like I said, OBP of 380, a batting average of 280, slugged 459, WRC plus, weighted runs created plus, averages 100. He was at 139. He was a 4.3 WAR player last year, according to Fangraphs. So, yeah, man, I mean, valuable as hell. And we don't get anywhere near as far as we did in the regular season without Jurickson Profar. And I think what a lot of us are doing, and I'll just speak for myself, we have a lot of opinions on guys right now that may be coming up for free agency or arbitration, Benny. Speaking for me, all I can think of is what happened in the postseason. I'm sorry. I know that's not the right way to be. Like, I looked at Dylan Cease in the postseason, I was like, let's see. Right? Like, yeah, we need you for the regular season, but you can't go nuts and give this guy a huge multi-year, $25, $30 million a year deal. You just, can you?
Somebody else will.
Somebody else probably will. Jurickson Profar. It's another one. I looked at it and I said, now the projections for Jurickson from this account were
6 years.
6 years, $84 million. That is $14 million a year for 6 years. He's 31.
14 is not a completely ridiculous number for one, per season. 6 years for a guy who already has 10 years in the game. And now he's only 31, so he's not way past his prime or anything. But I would be surprised if any team committed 6 years to Jurickson Profar this offseason. If you were going to do $14 million, I think a 2 or 3 year deal would make more sense at a number like that. But the question is, what do you project for Jurickson Profar going forward? And I don't know what the answer is. If, Jurickson and Scott Boras, who I think is still his agent, are going to say, all right.
No, I think he's gone.
Did he move on?
He's with MVP.
With
he
Manny's,
did, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so he moved on to Dan Lozano as well. Okay, so either way, though, Dan Lozano is going to go in and go, he's over 4 WAR player.
Yeah.
He's still in good health and good shape. We project him to be a 4 WAR player. That's big money right now in Major League Baseball. You get a 4 WAR player, you fill your lineup with 4 WAR players, you're going to the postseason.
Sure.
You got a great team if they're all right around 4 WAR. So, they're going to make that argument that he deserves a giant contract. The question is, will any team agree with that assessment and project Jurickson Profar as a guy over the next 3 seasons that's going to put up 12 WAR? And I don't know if they will or they won't.
Well, and the other question to ask, and like I said, I legit had this conversation with my wife at Disneyland yesterday, and we were talking about it, and she said the old standard of like, is he Jurickson Profar if he goes to play with Cincinnati? And I said, well, there's evidence to suggest the contrary, as he went to a very friendly hitter's ballpark in Colorado and didn't do much and just never really felt like a fit, But is there a team out there that can get the most out of Jurickson Profar like the San Diego Padres do? I don't know. You never know until you go try. And he's certainly deserving to get paid and take care of his family for the rest of his life, Ben. That he absolutely deserves that right. $14 to $16 million a year just doesn't seem very feasible or smart, in my opinion. Obviously, this is the risk that you run, signing players, like this, that did so well on a 1-year deal. I don't think...
But you remember what the Padres looked like without Jurickson Profar as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
It's not good.
They
need each other, right?
They
need each other.
He is a catalyst, not simply because he, gets on base and what he does, but he was a heartbeat of the clubhouse for the San Diego Padres.
No question. And they need each other, though. I think that was her underlying point, is they're two that should match up. One that you can each give a little bit. 6 years just seems like a lot for Jurickson Profar. And again, with a little more mileage on him after having a great season. He talked about the mileage, and I love the work he put in the offseason. Was training with Tatis and his dad. I would expect that to continue. But why the fall off at the end of the season? I mean, it was a rough go for him for a while.
I don't think there's any doubt that the Padres would like to have Jurickson Profar back. And I don't think there's much doubt that Jurickson would like to be back. The one question in my mind, and the one that Jurickson has to explore, is another team willing to pay premium dollars for him? And I don't know the answer to that. I know the Padres are willing to pay something to keep Jurickson back.
Absolutely.
Maybe not, almost certainly not 6 years and $84 million, but there's a worth of Jurickson Profar that is well beyond the $1 million he made last year. There's also, I think, a desire on Jurickson's part to remain in San Diego, where he has been good, he is appreciated, he's loved. He is a favorite among his teammates and among fans. There's value for Jurickson in that. Is there enough value, though, if the Tigers come throwing money at him or the Guardians come throwing money at him for whatever reason? Will that end up ultimately deciding it more than what the Padres are willing to do?
It's the $84 million question. Nobody knows what's truly in his heart, what his desires are. You do get the sense that he is Jurickson Profar, the best version of Jurickson Profar when he is a San Diego Padre, right? And the Padres know that, and Jurickson Profar knows that. But it doesn't mean that if some other team throws 5 years, 80, 90, $100 million at him, he's not going to jump at it as he should. How
is this going to play out in the offseason? Will it be like last offseason where he's kind of waiting, one of the last guys, and he's waiting, and the Padres are going like, well, at some point we'll get to Jurickson. But if
it literally was like that. We kept waiting. It was the inevitable thing.
We were writing him in to the lineup,
penciling him in
like December.
But I doubt he was getting that many or any offers last year.
But look what he did this year.
But this year he will. I mean, there will be calls from teams who look and go, okay, we could use a guy like that. And when he gets an offer in December and it's decent, those offers don't always stay on the table. If you say, hey, give me some time to think about it, the other team's going to go, hey, we need a decision because otherwise we're going on to someone else. Is he going to feel the pressure to sign a contract somewhere else if the Padres aren't willing to match? Like, okay, hey, I just got this 4-year, $52 million offer from this team. Padres, will you match that? And the Padres go, it's kind of pricey for us. We'd rather not go that high. Is Jurickson just going to say, okay, I guess I got to go? I mean, you risk losing him if you don't sign him soon, but you risk overpaying him if you try to sign him quickly.
Yeah, I mean, look, you never want your team to overpay for a guy, ever. I mean, that's just we've done it too many times here, and I don't know, man. Like, he's definitely worth whatever he can get, and if he can get a bunch of money, you got to take it.
Who do you think is more likely to be an all-star next year on the Padres? Quick answer, both of you. Jurickson Profar or Xander Bogaerts?
Jurickson.
You think so?
Yes.
Paulie?
Yeah, I think I lean Jurickson.
Jurickson.
I do.
Because if you're going track record, Xander has a much better track record for more years.
Yeah, but one's going one way, the other's going the other. One's going up, one's going down.
It's fair.
I mean, we know
right about the same age.
Yeah, we know the work and stuff that was put in by Jurickson last year. He changed a lot, man. He changed a lot about his approach. Really became a feared hitter. Really became a gap-to-gap hitter. It stopped. I get it. It tailed off certainly at the end of the year. But I think even him at 31 years old, who's been in the league 10 years, Ben, I think even now he realized I may have to do things a little bit differently next year. He told everybody, he goes, I'm freaking exhausted. I've never hit so many doubles in my life. I'm cashed, man. I'm playing every day. Played 158 games for this team and played well. Played really, really well. A really, really great season for him. Can you finish? Can you finish? Can you perform better in the postseason? Things like that, because him and the three.
Yeah, I don't think it was an indictment on Jurickson that he ran out of gas.
Me neither. He busted his tail.
It was simply a symptom of the fact that he hadn't been asked to do it very often in 10 years.
That's exactly right.
He was almost like a rookie when it came to getting to September and having 130 games under his belt already. Just hadn't really done it. It's hard to be ready for it until you've done it before. It's what made Jackson Merrill's season just so unbelievable.
Yep, so outstanding. So I think, it's going to be one of those weird stories to watch this year, and you're certainly not penciling him in the starting lineup next year because he ain't getting $1 million. You know, he's going to get a lot more than that.
This hour in Ben and Woods brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings is football, and B-Dubs is kicking off football season with 2 limited-time sauces. Try their new Buffalo Bacon Sauce for bold notes of smoky bacon, or get the fan favorite hot barbecue before it's gone. Try them at your local B-Dubs or order now for takeout and delivery with Buffalo Wild Wings. Go! All right, we'll come back, reset the show. We found, I don't know how new it is, but new to us, feature to the Odyssey app that Woods is intrigued by.
It's something very special for us.
Told you about it 2 months ago.
Oh,
did you?
All right.
Well,
Must have forgotten.
New to us on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, my friends, we are halfway home on a Thursday. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Thanks so much for being here with us, as many of you are every single day, for the entire show. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. That's Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor.
I'm here with you every day for the entire show. Are you talking about me?
You too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too. I saw this today, and I thought it was the first I've heard of it. But Paulie has let us know that he did, in fact, let us know that there is our buddy Kyle from Vista tweeted, at Ben and Woods, is send a voice message new? Should everyone say taint to test it? And I guess if you're listening on the app, the Odyssey app, there's a button that says listen live, which you can do. And then there's a little microphone that says send a voice message. Now, I don't know how to feel about that really, but I guess another way for the fans to interact with their favorite shows. Great. Now we have the YouTube feed as well. We're streaming on Twitch. Paulie, is Kick a thing? Is that some place where people stream?
Yeah.
Kick. I saw somebody made like $200 million streaming on Kick, so I'd like to get some of that Kick money.
I don't know exactly
how to do it,
but I believe Kick is where a lot of streamers have gone after they've been booted from YouTube or Twitch. They've been kicked off. So I don't think we've given any reason to be forced to use Kick yet.
Well, wait for the Christmas and holiday extravaganza that's coming. The ideas I have for December 20th, start getting that in your head and putting that on your calendar to maybe take the day off and watch that whole thing on YouTube. You're going to want to do that. Then
Friday, December 20th.
We may be kicked off of YouTube after that.
So essentially leave a voicemail.
Like a voicemail.
Which
to our show.
No one ever does anymore.
Right.
You just text.
We had the Ben and Woods hotline that we did for a while.
Yeah.
And then we stopped checking it.
Because no one checks their voicemail.
It's true.
Anymore.
Ever. But this one, on the Odyssey app, you can send us a voice message. So if you're inclined to do that and you're listening right now, you can do that. Paulie, you don't get a notification?
I don't. I can go
in and check. How many do we have in there right now?
We got a handful.
A handful. Okay.
Now,
have they been screened?
If we're going to be... No, I have to screen them. So if we are going to be soliciting these, keep them clean. Make my life easier.
Yeah, because anytime you curse, then Paulie has to edit it out with beeps.
Download it, edit it.
You can't just
play it straight onto the air.
Play what you have.
We do have a couple here. This is actually from a week ago.
Ben, you're an ass.
That's my only excuse.
Okay.
I was like, you could hear me on the radio.
You made him so mad.
He just instantly had to
send the voice.
I have no idea why.
I'd like to hear that again.
Ben, you're an ass.
And there's no name associated with it?
This one does have a name.
Who is
it? It from Herman.
Herman.
Thanks, Herm. Now, I assume, as I usually do.
One more time, Paulie.
That's my only excuse.
Oh.
One more time.
Ben, you're an ass.
That's my only excuse.
That's my only excuse.
I'm assuming that, as many people do, they confuse our voices on the air, and he really...
you were literally talking. You were literally talking.
He really meant you.
Literally.
Well, you had probably just said
Ben,
something, and I was responding to it.
It does happen.
It meant you.
We did get one from Kyle this morning. I'm assuming that was the same Kyle.
Yeah.
Wait. Doing an Adam?
He's doing his Adam.
Taint.
Pretty good Adam, actually.
Rod is in our YouTube chat right now, and he just left us one a few minutes ago.
Yo, this is Rod from the chat. Love 97.3 The Fan. Shout out to Adam Klug. Roll Tide.
Oh, there you go. Talking a little smack.
Very clear, though. Crystal clear.
Crystal clear.
Way better than, our usual call-ins, which, we have the worst cell phone service
on the
apparently
planet.
In America, trying to call into this radio station in particular.
Thank you, Rod.
the show, bitch.
All right, there's one. Okay.
So, yeah, where do we send messages? Roastmaster, you download the Odyssey app,
Yep.
and then when you're listening live to 97.3 The Fan, you click on the little microphone, and you record. Can you, re-record if you don't like it, or does you just everything gets sent?
You can hear it back and then click submit.
Okay, so that's how you submit voicemail messages.
Oh, whispered taint. I don't even have the Odyssey app downloaded.
Ben, you're an ass.
I like that.
I think we already heard that.
We need to keep that in the
like that one.
in the rotation. All right. So, yeah, the Odyssey app, you can go and use that feature. I like that.
Why don't we just record our next segment
into that?
Send it to Paulie, and then we can take a few minutes off during the show.
Well, I mean, we could just do that anyway. What is happening here with this app? All right, here we go. 97.3 The Fan.
Are you downloading an app on the air?
Yeah, our Odyssey app.
Here
it is. Send a
new
voice
radio
message.
high point here for us. How do you
just wanna
not
see how it
already
works.
have it?
I can leave up to a minute of voicemail here. Suck it, Ben.
How quickly do you think it gets turned around and sent to Paulie?
Put in my location. It's not worth. It's frozen. Cool. All right. Well, tried. See, it's frozen. It's not letting me put my city and state in.
We'll get the engineering team on that.
Oh, here we go.
But while you're doing that, it was at this time yesterday that Sammy Levitt gave us a revelation that I think floored many people here in San Diego. And that was the fact that his parents shipped him off to summer camp every single year. And I go, okay, fine. Well, you go for like a week? And he goes, no, it was 8 weeks. It was 2 months. I'd leave like 2 or 3 days after school ended. And then I'd come back and I'd have, a week, and there would be time to go back to school. The entire summer, he was shipped off to summer camp. Now, you grew up on the East Coast, at least partially.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get sent off to summer camp the way Sam Levitt was?
No.
You did not?
No, I went to baseball camp for a week in Massachusetts.
Sleepaway baseball camp.
Sleepaway baseball camp for a week after freshman year. And that was like a privilege. Like, hey, I want to get better, Dad. And, all right, let's find a camp. Me and my best friend Adam went to a baseball camp. Came back. It was great. Like, it was awesome. It was a week. It was a lot. It was a lot for a. How old are you? And how old are you going into your sophomore year? 15. A voicemail here. Yeah, suck it, Ben. There you go.
All right, it turns around pretty quickly.
It does. That's really good.
And that was from Steven in Encinitas.
And very clear.
Shout out to Steven in Encinitas. Tier 1.
Did you make friends like that you kept in touch with?
Not really, but friends that week and stuff, and you learn and you played against some good competition, and that was great. It was a week, though, but it was a lot. Like, you're 15-ish, and you're away for the first time.
Sammy said that they sent kids as young as...
He said he started going when he was like 11,
yeah,
maybe.
But there was like kids younger, like 9, that would go and be gone all summer from their family.
7, 8, 9 years old, yeah.
And when you told me that, I thought, ooh. And your initial thought as a parent is, oh, yeah. Then I thought I couldn't do it.
Because we said yesterday, don't let Woods know about this.
No, I couldn't do it.
Just have the whole summer to yourselves. Live the high life.
There is absolutely no chance I could send my kids away for 8 weeks. None whatsoever. Right? There's no way.
You're the one who's threatened them with military school multiple times.
But that's just a threat. Those are just threats. Oh, them just jokes. There's no way. I couldn't do it. 8 weeks. Not at this age, man. I mean, obviously, they're 6 and 4. You'd be the worst parent of all time.
True.
All right. See you guys in 2 months. Like, shape their whole lives as serial killers. Why are you a serial killer? My dad literally sent me away when I was 6 for 2 months. All right, I get it. You're probation. Like, I totally would get it. But there is no chance at this age I could leave either of them for 8 weeks. None. And I'm trying to, obviously you can't prognosticate what ages, Bo will be 13 and Taylor will be 11. Might start to think about maybe a little bit of a summer camp scenario at that point, maybe that age, but I don't know, man. That seems like a long time. Did Sammy like it, or did he hate it, or what?
He seemed to like it.
Did he?
I mean, there was like one visiting day every summer where his parents could come and see him for the one day.
One?
I said, Sam, this sounds a lot like prison, not camp. That you're basically trapped somewhere for 2 months. And there's one visiting day. There was like phone limits. Like you could go to the phone, you get like 10 minutes max, and then you'd have to hang up, and someone else would get a turn. I don't know. It sounded horrible to me.
It does, and really the things that your greatest fear as a parent, you could get realized at camp, and you all know what I'm talking about. So no, I will not be sending my kids away for any sleepover camps. I just had this conversation with Anna. Apparently, there's something here that's part of the curriculum that you have to do.
Yeah, 6th grade camp.
And I told her absolutely.
I did it.
You did it.
Yeah, I did it. My kids did it.
I did it.
You did it.
Up in Washington, we had 6th grade camp. Yeah.
Did you like
it? Was like in October.
No.
It was a full week, Monday through Friday. You were gone at camp with
Part
your
of
I mean, there were moments I enjoyed.
It was
the,
not summer
the camp, but it was the first time I had ever really been away from my family.
Did you cry?
Yeah, absolutely.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
How old? 6th grade?
6th grade, yeah. So like 12.
You cried?
I was on the younger side for 6th grade.
You didn't let anybody see you cry, though.
No. I cried like
in
before.
bed?
Like, and yeah, secretly. But yeah, I was the first night was horrible. Like, I got this whole week to get through. I hated the food.
Oh,
you know
the
me.
showering scenario.
Yeah. It was like
gnarly.
Yeah, it was.
I went to church camp, so
It was
yeah,
like
you have
no,
to
there was
walk
no
to the
there was no stalls or curtains or anything. It was just
wieners
just a
everywhere.
big, just walk into the shower. And at that age, everyone's kind of at a different point of development, so it's very self-conscious.
Yeah, there was a kid in our school, redhead kid, bright red hair. Name was Anthony. And I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he lived near a nuclear reactor because there was something when he walked into the shower, you said, "Oh my God." Yeah. Yeah, that was that.
Is he related to Arnold Palmer, possibly?
Just thinking about that, dude. Just thinking. No, it was not our pal Anthony the Butcher. It was Anthony the Redhead. And guys, when I say hey, look, like you walked in and you're like, this sucks. This is gonna be a long summer for me. So I was at church camp. I only did it one time. And I remember having to walk in flip-flops, Ben, through the dirt to get to the shower. But it was like one shower. So there'd be a line of 15 people, and you're in the shower
It's like wearing a towel.
Yeah, wearing a towel. You get out and you walk back all wet and cold. It was terrible, dude. It was terrible.
Was it like an outdoor shower?
Yes, it was outdoors. Yes, you're exactly right.
It's miserable.
It was terrible, dude. It was terrible. 6th grade camp. Yeah, Hannah was telling me all about it.
I think the food for me was the hardest part because I was a picky eater, and it's scrambled eggs for breakfast. I don't like scrambled eggs.
What did you want?
Cereal. Cereal. I just wanted cereal.
I love this. Camp is a fascinating thing.
Got some Padres news here before we go
Did
to
you?
break.
Okay.
A little bit of Padres
Want to
news.
tease it, or do you want to?
It's
not teasable.
I don't know if it's teasable. So it's we're on the brink of awards season. The MLB awards, MVP, Rookie of the Year, Manager of the Year, Cy Young, those all come out like the 2nd or 3rd week of November, usually over the course of an entire week, 4:00 p.m. on the MLB Network or whatever. But other publications and organizations have their own awards as well. So while this may not be the MLB Network big announcement coming up in a few weeks, the Sporting News has put out their Rookie of the Year, and the National League Rookie of the Year goes to...
Hi, this is Jackson Merrill.
Jackson Merrill.
That's badass.
I'm sorry, Woods, that your favorite Paul Skeens.
I'm happy. I
did
love
not
Paul.
win
I
the Sporting
love
News.
Paul Skeens. I love Paul Skeens.
Rookie of the Year award.
I love Paul Skeens. But I've always said Jackson Merrill should be the Rookie of the Year. He plays every day. Plays every day.
You just quickly, Paul Skeens, you looked at his numbers, which were really good for a pitcher. Compare them, though, for what Fernando Valenzuela did when he won Rookie of the Year as a pitcher and the Cy Young. Now, that's the kind of pitcher who wins Rookie of the Year.
Over a, over a everyday
started all
position player.
season long, complete games, 8 shutouts, all-star, did everything, all season long for his team. Yeah, I would absolutely consider a pitcher like that for a Rookie of the Year award. Guy who comes up in May and is on, kind of an innings limit, and they're being careful with. To me, you can't give that over a full-time position player who played 159 games or whatever it was that Jackson Merrill did at the level he did, the clutchness that he provided for the San Diego Padres. I don't think it's that close. The only thing that Paul Skeens has is the hype factor, that accompanied his debut.
Well, I mean, look,
I think
the hype was warranted. He was really, really
still
good.
is.
He still is good, man. But I love that for Jackson Merrill. It's a nice little award to hang on. It's like the UT's best of, right? That's their version. Right?
We've won that for
We've
sure.
won that, absolutely.
I mean, there's the I think the big awards are the Baseball Writers Association of America awards.
The BBWs.
Yeah.
AAs.
Like, that's like the Marconi. We haven't won that one yet.
Yeah, turns out your boss has to be very active in submitting things and working around the clock to get that done. And, well, it's not going to happen. So
Adam, I'll make a graphic for us if we win.
Yeah, hey, Paulie, are you on the Sporting News Rookie of the Year graphic for Jackson Merrill? Have you gotten the text yet?
I did not make one for...
All right, it's coming.
Maybe we just repost the Padres.
Yeah,
graphic.
we just can hit here. I'll do it from the fan account right now, Adam. We'll just retweet it and say congratulations to Jackson Merrill, the Sporting News Rookie of the Year. That's well done for him. Very happy for him.
All right, we're going to take a time out. You have always accused me of over San Diego-ifying everything.
Yes.
So I thought, you know what, Woods?
God.
I'm just going to lean into it.
Hey, that guy's from San Diego. Wow.
I want to see how...
See what this guy did? He's heard of San Diego.
I want to see how random I can get in my San Diego sports connections, because I have a good one from yesterday that I came across. It involves one of your absolute NBA favorites.
Okay.
In this San Diego random connection story that I'm going to throw in.
I love it.
Coming up next after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else. Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
I saw you tweeting some shade the other day.
Me?
Yeah, at our local newspaper.
Me?
For writing stories that connect other teams with San Diego athletes and try to localize, a professional sports league in which we don't have a team. We don't have an NFL team anymore.
That
so
doesn't sound like me even a little bit.
you see them writing about all the Detroit Lions players who are from San Diego, or Fred Warner of the 49ers,
That doesn't sound
native
like
San
me.
Diegan.
I support everyone.
Got the New Orleans Saints receiving core, battered receiving core of Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave, both went to high school here in San Diego. We do that. I do that a lot, too. I will admit that I am guilty of occasionally San Diego-ifying the sports world at large.
For example, just the one. And I think maybe I was on Ambien or something. I don't remember. This doesn't sound. Does that sound like my character?
Not really.
Not really?
You're usually all about making peace and
positivity.
Just staying in your own lane.
Your point.
Wait, hold on.
It's,
Sports is my lane.
It's not
technically.
You're not wrong.
Can I read this? Can I read it first?
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes may deprive San Diego's Fred Warner of another Super Bowl ring. Are you effing kidding? Like if I tweeted that, mock me. I deserve the mockery. I don't mind being mocked.
So you're not wrong.
I know I'm not
necessarily
wrong. That's insane behavior.
That we do this probably too much, and it is a bit of a small town sort of mentality.
Now, I will say this. If it's a bit to rile people up, it's genius. You're Andy Kaufman.
I would also say at the other end, there's nothing wrong with promoting and praising, people who are from our community that are going out and doing good things in other places.
Okay,
there's nothing wrong with that as well.
Then say, here is a nice piece on San Diego's Fred Warner, who's having a great season with the 49ers. Right? There's a way to do it and a way not to. That doesn't make you look, desperate or weird. It's weird to do that, I think.
Well, I am really good at it. I'll just say that. I've
said that about you since
I've
the
had
day
to
I
do
met
this
you.
for a while on television, and
yeah.
I am good at San Diego-ifying stories. So I thought, well, let me just lean into it and see how far I can go with this particular bit. And I saw one yesterday that I thought you would appreciate in particular. It involves someone that I know you enjoy from the basketball world, Pat Riley.
Oh, I love Pat Riley. Slick.
Longtime coach and executive with the Miami Heat. And they surprised him. They actually surprised him by renaming the court in Miami, Pat Riley Court, to honor his 30 years with the organization as both coach, president of basketball operations, really changing the fortunes of that organization.
I'd say he's worthy of that.
100%.
Absolutely. He didn't want it. But the owner, Mickey Arison, said, no, you're getting it. You're just going to have to sit through it and do it. So they did it yesterday on the season opener for Pat Riley. Had a big ceremony where they renamed the court Pat Riley Court. And then he had to take the microphone and give his speech and thank all the players that he has coached. He's well over almost 200 different players that he has coached in his career. Obviously, as an executive, bringing all the different players in, the other coaches he's worked with. Eric Spoelstra, who's under him and has taken over as the coach and brought even more success for the team. But for the most part, he focused on, and I thought this was very sweet, his wife, Chris. And he is just devoted, loves his wife, Chris Riley, so much, and told the story about his wife. He said, I want to get this one right. It was a summer night on a crowded mezzanine. I saw Perfect, the most beautiful woman ever, her flowered summer dress swaying softly as she walked towards me. Saw those hazel eyes
at the thing?
in his speech.
On the court.
On the court.
Wow.
Saw those hazel eyes, and my heart leapt. I went for her like Udonis Haslem is going to go for a loose ball on that court.
That's weird.
Right there. And he said many nice things about his wife, Chris, which I thought was very sweet.
My wife would have said, did you just compare me to a loose ball?
And you know where that mezzanine was located, where Pat Riley met his wife, Chris? That's right.
Where was it, Ben?
It was right here in San Diego, California. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a San Diego sports story for you right there involving Pat Riley, his wife, and the Miami
front
Heat.
Page of the Union Tribune tomorrow.
Should be.
Then I don't know.
Where
what
was
are we
should
doing?
be? Where was what? The story?
Where was the meeting?
He just said on a mezzanine in San Diego. He didn't specifically identify which mezzanine.
SeaWorld.
In San Diego. Where do we have good mezzanines?
Where's
here?
the best mezzanine? Let's
like
put out a
mezzanines.
poll. I like mezzanines out there. You guys like mezzanines out there? What a weird word.
It was an odd use of the word. Just a summer night on a crowded mezzanine in San Diego, and I saw perfect. What a sweet man. For a guy who doesn't, I mean, you see his depiction in Winning Time that, seems like this train wreck half the time of intensity and just boiling just emotions all the time. What a sweet man Pat Riley seems to be.
Balsamic Vinny says North Park Beer has a cool
Mezzanine.
mezzanine.
They do. I don't know that it was around when he met Chris Riley, but
the mezzanine at North Park Beer is where he met Chris Riley.
What technically is a mezzanine? I feel like it's like a second level balcony that
Yes.
overlooks
looks
like
over.
a first level somewhere.
Shore
but
club,
It's
maybe.
not outside. It's inside. Is that
PB Shore Club?
Is that a
potentially? Do they have a
mezzanine?
mezzanine? I always thought that was just a deck.
if it's outside, it's a deck. But if it's inside, is it a mezzanine?
No, I thought mezzanines were outside.
I need a definition.
Nobody says I had my wedding
What
reception
is
on that
a
mezzanine. Is it a balcony?
What is a
It
mezzanine?
means middle in
It's an
Italian.
intermediate floor or floors in a building that's open to the floor before. Usually placed halfway up the wall on a floor with the ceiling at least twice as high as a standard floor.
That's the most confusing.
Well, that clears everything up.
That's the most confusing definition of a word I've ever heard.
Thanks, AI, for that confusing definition.
I need somebody to paint me a picture of what a mezzanine is because the words aren't doing it for me. Yeah, that's a real stretch, Ben.
We've got Smart Baseball Thursday. Eno Sarris with his Smart World Series preview, brought to you by 7 Mile Casino. It is coming up next. Do not go away. Woods and San Diego Ben with you on San Diego's
There he is.
#1 sports station, San Diego's own 97.3 The Fan.
San Diego.
I've taken a lot of grief from Padres fans for my, genuine belief that I think the Dodgers are probably going to win this World Series. But I'm trying to base my opinions on what I think is, smart baseball. So I'm curious to know what Eno Sarris' opinion is of the matchup in the upcoming World Series that begins tomorrow night. Do smart baseball analytics say it should be a favored to the Dodgers, or do they lean more toward the Yankees? We will talk to Eno about that right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Kearney Mesa Volkswagen. Still a couple of problems here, guys. One of them is a collision on northbound 805 right before the 15. Car and semi involved does not appear to be blocking lanes. Now, up ahead past Governor, we have reports of a stalled vehicle blocking the slow lane. Trick or treat yourself to the 2024 Volkswagen Jetta S for just $197 per month. This Halloween, drive home in style without frightening your wallet. Kearney Mesa Volkswagen is locally and veteran-owned. For more details about this offer, head to KearneyMesaVolkswagen.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's time for the super polished, yet to be named Smart Baseball Weekly segment with Eno Sarris, son of a bitch. Brought to you by 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from the ballpark by the bay in Chula Vista. Here's Eno Sarris with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Yeah, sorry to spring you this on you, Eno. I didn't really let you know that we'd be doing a Smart Baseball World Series preview, but my guess is you are aware of the matchup and some things about the two teams involved in the upcoming best of 7 series.
Well, wait, who's playing who?
Yeah. I mean, can you believe it?
You can Google it quickly. We're fine. Yeah.
These two teams squaring off, man. Heavyweight match of epic proportions, and yeah, people have their feelings about both teams. A lot of the country has their feeling like, I hate them both. I hope both teams lose. Well, we know that's not going to happen. Both teams cannot lose. I, for one, I'm ecstatic for this matchup. I think, if it's not us in it, obviously it's not. This was kind of this is going to put a lot of asses in the seats, so to speak, with these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Stark had a piece on The Athletic today about, could this be baseball's bird and magic? And one thing that we know from research is that like dynasties and super teams actually are good for ratings and good for sports. It's a little bit annoying to fans who are already there.
Right.
But if you think about, your uncle that talks to you about baseball, twice a year and only watches, select playoffs or, just sort of people who are on the periphery of baseball, they're going to be drawn in by Shohei versus Judge, MVP versus MVP, 50-homer guy versus 50-homer guy. You got Soto, you got Betts. There's the star power is there, and so I think this is good for baseball. And I think in terms of finances too, people say, this is the best World Series money can buy. Well, if you look at the history of, at least the most recent history of who goes to the World Series, yes, most of the time they're in the top 50th, the top 50 percentile in terms of payroll. But this is, an outlier in terms of these are like 2 of the 3 biggest payrolls in baseball. We just last year had one where they were more like 60th and 70th percentile in terms of payroll. So, and the flip side of that is, wouldn't you want your owner to feel like they should spend money to get to the World Series?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Unequivocally, always yes.
Yeah, I mean,
So
if you're going to have randomness in baseball in terms of outcomes, which I think we all do want sometimes, that also is going to include the expensive teams occasionally getting to the World Series and winning as well.
Exactly. I think a lot of the complaints would be, would land harder if this was like the 3rd year in a row we'd seen Yankees Dodgers.
Exactly.
And even then, that's not bad for the sport. I think they pointed out that LeBron and Steph faced each other 4 years in a row. And I think that was good for basketball. That was Titans against Titans. Now, it doesn't happen as much in baseball because of the surrounding cast, and I think that's where you start to, because you can put, I think, Ohtani and Betts up against Judge and Soto, and maybe you say, in terms of dynamic duos, I take Soto and Judge. They had one of the 10 best, I think maybe even one of the 5 best pairings ever between 2 players. They are close to Ruth and Gehrig incarnate, So you take those 2 over those 2. I think you start taking the rest of the Dodgers lineup over the rest of the Yankees lineup. You're talking about, guys like Max Muncy, Will Smith, as opposed to like rookie Austin Wells, Volpe, those guys. So Dodgers have a little bit more depth in the lineup. And, Dodgers bullpen, you're going to take over the Yankees bullpen, again, for depth reasons, but also pretty good at the top with Kopech and Phillips. So the Yankees' advantage in the starting rotation, I think, is the trickiest thing to figure out because the Dodgers got 60% of their outs from the bullpen in the playoffs so far. And that's amazing. And what's even more amazing is we found out recently that the 3rd time you see a reliever in a series, it's a little bit like the 3rd time you see a starter in a game. So basically, there's a familiarity tax. So you can't just use Luke Weaver, against Shohei Ohtani, 6 times.
Right.
Like there's like that. Shohei Ohtani will start beating him pretty quickly after the 3rd time. So basically, the number I have is the 3rd time through 800 OPS. The batter has the 3rd time he sees a reliever.
Even against because I don't get into the as deep as you do, obviously, but I'm thinking about I watched every game, and I'm thinking about any Dodger reliever that's had issue with anyone. Really, Evan Phillips got into a little bit of trouble, but that's after really navigating, I think, 14 scoreless innings. Don't remember anybody doing much off Blake Trinan, save maybe 1 game. I feel like their relievers have been pretty dominant. I don't know how many times the Mets saw Trinan. I don't know how many times.
Well, guess what? The Mets saw no endgame reliever 3 times. The only matchup that happened 3 times was Pete Alonso against Ryan Brazier.
Wow.
That was the only one. And I think they were probably treading on thin ice, but at some point you can make a plan. I'm sure the Dodgers made a plan where you're like, oh, we used Kopech this time, and then we flipped Kopech and Phillips, and we used Phillips this time, right? So they did it perfectly. They did a really good job. And yet in the last game, the relievers, if you remember, it wasn't a close game, but the relievers gave up 1 run each, and there was a little bit more. That was like the 2nd time. So they only did it once. I think that's going to be difficult in a Yankees series because the way I see it is, the Yankees have an advantage if they can, like Carlos Rodon can maybe see Ohtani 3 times because he's a lefty, right? So if Carlos Rodon can see Ohtani 3 times, then maybe you can get Rodon through 5 innings. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but in today's playoffs, that's a lot. And once you start doing that, you're like, oh, okay, Rodon is going to take some of those extra outs that I have to get Ohtani out. And Cole, maybe I can see Cole, taking Ohtani out a 3rd time. And that depth is going to allow the Yankees to hide relievers better than the Dodgers. So the longer the series goes and the more that the Yankees starting pitchers can go into the thing, the more likely it is that Evan Phillips sees Aaron Judge a 3rd time. And I swear to you, if Evan Phillips sees Aaron Judge a 3rd time, Aaron Judge slugged 700 on sweepers this year.
Oh, man.
So I think the longer this goes, the more it favors the Yankees. And people are calling it so close of a toss-up. I can't imagine it's going to be a sweep. We have seen sweeps between the 2 best teams. I was a big Braves fan growing up. And the Braves and Yankees in 1999 they're both the best teams, and the Yankees just 4 straight games. Boom.
I was there. I was at the last one in New York, and the only World Series clincher I've ever gotten to go to. I was at that game, and you get tickets for that game. You're like, well, there's no way you're going to sweep a team as good as the Braves. This is a guaranteed L. Guaranteed L. Flying to New York from Texas going, this is a guaranteed law. There's no way you're sweeping a team as good as that. And they did. And I was in the house, and it was insane. So, yeah, that's a good point you make, and I don't know, man, like watching this playoffs, it messes with your mind. It messes with, if you're a GM watching these playoffs, it messes with how you plan and plot to build your team with the aspirations of winning a World Series, does it not? I mean, the starters that you pay so much money for, you're like, hell yeah, man, he gave us 3 innings. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's freaking nuts how it works. Like, woo! Everybody give him a pat on the back, went 3 innings, and we're good to go. We paid him $30 million. I mean, it is truly insane.
Yeah, my head is also swimming with all these different effects. Like, we know that over the course of the season, every pitcher reliever throws makes him worse. So, you're like, oh, well, don't throw your relievers a lot during the regular season so that you can throw them in the postseason.
Right.
And we know that there's this familiarity tax. So it's like, should every team have like a Francisco Rodriguez in the minor leagues that they don't call up until like September 25th? So that they're like, oh, and by the way, we have this guy.
Ratting this guy.
Never seen and throws 98.
Padres were waiting to deploy Sean Reynolds in the NLCS had they gotten there.
That would have been fun.
Yeah, would have been a blast, man. You say, I mean, we laugh, but like it's absolutely what probably would have. It absolutely would have happened.
Definitely, maybe.
They would have needed more pitchers. Yeah.
Sarris from The Athletic is with us. I want to ask you about the Dodgers starters, because to me that was clearly the reason going into the playoffs why a lot of us didn't think they were going to get there. And against the Padres did pretty well against Yamamoto the first time, Flaherty, Buehler, and then Yamamoto locked in that Game 5. And other than Flaherty's sick game, they all seem to be pitching as well as they have maybe all season. What are you seeing from the Dodgers? Essentially 3 starters that they have been using here in the postseason.
Well, one thing that was really strange was in the Mets series, they Buehler and Yamamoto had and a lot of actually every pitcher that pitched in the last 2 games of the Mets series had like really good movement. And part of that is cold. Cold is actually good for movement. Warm weather is lighter, and so you want heavier air for the ball. It drags in it more, right? And it moves more. It reduces the velo a little bit, but they're all throwing harder because it's the postseason. So anyway, in these games they had the best movement. I was like, oh my God, is Buehler back? Because he looked really crisp. The problem is that are they going to have the same? There was a headwind too, and headwinds actually, if the wind is blowing out, it's weird. It helps the hitters, but it also helps the pitchers because the ball moves more. And so, are they going to have those same conditions? I don't trust Walker Buehler. Like we've seen Walker Buehler pitch a lot down the stretch, and he bounced that curveball over and over again, and it was like bounce the curveball, rely too much on the cutter, got nothing else really, And I think that version of Walker Buehler could show up, and Jack Flaherty, who is so much better when he throws over 94. Was throwing 94 for most of the season. He's throwing 92 now in the playoffs.
Yep.
And so if there is a sweep, I actually think it's the Yankees sweeping because Yamamoto, they play Yamamoto tight, and then maybe it's a close game where it's like a 3-2 game. I mean, remember Yamamoto's going to go up against Cole, so it's like it could be a 3-2 game, well-pitched game. And then they kind of feast on the next 2 guys. And then, and if they feast on Flaherty and Buehler, that means the bullpen has to come out, a lot. That means in Game 4, they might be seeing those relievers again, and have seen them already.
Wait,
so
do you think
if there is a sweep? I see on the Yankees side, and I think I've seen some math that says that it's the Dodgers by a little bit. But for some reason, I favor the Yankees.
Do you think because it's going to be Cole against Flaherty in Game 1? Do you think that's a mistake?
Right.
Do you think that's a mistake on Dave Roberts' part? Would you,
if you believe Dave Roberts at all?
If you believe
point.
him, right?
But just inveterate liars this postseason for the most part.
Would you go Yamamoto Game 1 and go up against Garrett Cole? Yeah. I kind of had the same thought, but every button that dude's pushed, and to his credit, he's made a lot of mistakes. It's worked. It's worked.
You're throwing Flaherty, a fastball slider guy, at 92. Like against Judge and Stanton and Soto. Like, I don't know. That I would give the Yankees a huge edge in Game 1.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. Cannot wait to watch it, Eno. Thank you for your insight. Always appreciate it.
I hope it steps to the. I really don't want to sweep. I really hope it steps up.
I'll take a Yankee sweep. I'll take a Yankee sweep in a heartbeat. No problem. But I'll sign up for that today.
A 7-game series would be
epic, series would be epic. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I mean, I want some highlights from Judge and Ohtani in particular. I want them to be at the front of Sports Center.
You want Yankees Guardians, basically. That's what we want. Nobody wants Dodgers Mets for this series. You want Yankees Guardians.
You don't want World Series highlights to come right after Buccaneers Panthers highlights. On Sports Center.
Exactly, man.
And and you don't want the trading blowouts. That's right.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Appreciate it. By next Thursday, could be all over, or we could be heading towards some an epic showdown. So one way or the other, we'll wrap it up with you next week.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Eno Sarris, brought to you by 7 Mile Casino, Smart Baseball every week. And Smart Baseball said the math a little bit toward the Dodgers, but if any team's going to dominate, he thinks it would be
the Yankees.
But also, if it
he had
goes
more
longer.
he had more questions about the Dodgers pitching staff. He's not high on Flaherty. We both agree that kind of that game one is now a must-win for the Yankees.
Oh,
And
yeah.
At Dodger
With
Stadium.
Garrett Cole on the bump, of
Garrett
course.
Cole against Flaherty.
Of course.
You feel like you drop that one in the ear of the Yankees, you are
screwed.
now really in trouble. Dodgers will have a lot of emotion. They're going to honor Fernando Valenzuela. It's going to be back, World Series back in L.A. Because remember, the last time they were in the World Series, it was in Arlington, Texas.
Yep.
Almost no fans. This will be a different deal for them. So we'll see. That's tomorrow, 5 o'clock.
Woo! World Series time
Game
is
one
here.
of the World Series.
Can't wait.
All right, Paulie is going to have a Reindl Report for us when we come back.
I've got a hell of a story for my third one. I've also got I'll call it a top 3 sports radio call of all time.
Beautiful. Coming up next on 97.3, The Fan.
I don't know if he's listening right now to Ben and Woods as he's driving around his home in Alpine, but wanted to wish a very, very happy birthday to our own Mark Mud Grant.
Absolutely.
One of the finer human beings and beacons of light in San Diego, Mud Grant. Just always enjoy his commentary, always enjoy spending time with him, except when he shows me videos of movies that from the 80s I've already seen. Yes, I've seen Blues Brothers, Mud. I don't need to revisit it again here at dinner at P.F. Chang's. I just want to eat my meal and move on with my day. But I just
one of those
love
guys
him.
that is obviously, like, you watch the games, he's funny. He's a little
funny guy.
A little colorful.
Yes.
Colorful language when you talk to him off the air.
Yeah, which is great.
But he's also one of the genuinely most, like, just sweetest,
Yeah.
nicest guys. I feel like if you are friends with Mud, if you ever needed anything, a favor, he would answer the phone.
I think so, too.
And I think that's just such a great quality.
He is a great, great human being. And we are so lucky to have him in San Diego. So lucky to have Mud Grant.
He is
happy birthday, buddy.
He is someone who, like, when you see him coming, you smile.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't have to do anything. It's just his presence causes happiness in other people, which is an amazing quality.
It is.
For a person to
It
have.
is. We love you, Mudley. I hope you're listening.
birthday, Mud.
He will listen from time to time and text us in the middle of the show, which is great. But I don't know if he's listening right now. But we do love you very, very much. Happy birthday, buddy.
He's lucky because he shares a birthday with National Food Day. So go ahead and enjoy some food on your birthday to celebrate.
I like when Don makes fun of his boiler. That always it makes me laugh every time. The boiler. They always talk about the boiler. I always love his references to the movies. I get them all, pretty much.
I don't get them all.
I get a lot of them.
A lot of them go past
80s
me.
movies.
He's a big Fletch fan, so you'll always get it's all ball bearings these days. Maybe you guys need a refresher course. Brilliant.
Don't Call Me Shirley.
Yeah, it's so good.
I think
There's a lot of Ferris Bueller.
You got to be shaving me, kills
understated any ball in the corner, and don't forget to call 811 before you dig.
Yeah,
I love that one.
It's double. I mean, it's the Mudisms are long and deep. Love them.
By the way, if he hits it, it's a double. It has new meaning.
Yeah.
When you see some of the videos coming out from the Arizona Fall League, you're not doing this story in the Reindl Report, right? You're doing the other one. They have a check swing replay review.
Saw this
that they've instituted, and you've seen a couple of the videos of how it works, and everyone's so stunned because they have established a check swing with parallel to the baseline, not like straight across home plate. Like we've all kind of assumed, did he go halfway or not? But that's not. It's like 3/4 of the way before they actually call it a check swing. And I've heard Jesse talk about this many times. There's nowhere in the rule book that defines what a check swing actually is, whether you check or you don't swing.
It's discretion.
It's just what the umpire thinks. Did you swing at it or did you not swing at it? But this new system, which they're testing and ultimately could implement in the big leagues, actually has a defined line, which is, pointed out toward like first base. And if you're
for a righty,
if you're bat for a righty, or third base if you're a lefty, if your bat goes past that point, it's a swing. If it doesn't, it's not. And if they call you and you say swing, you can ask for the review, and they go to the system and go, oh no, wait, he stopped just before the line. That is a check swing. That is a ball, not a strike.
Saw somebody yesterday, a former pitcher, go, "Wow, I've been screaming at umpires wrongly this whole time for many, many years." I think a hitter knows when he goes. Hitter knows when he goes every time, every single time, and it is one of those weird kind of discretionary calls.
I don't agree necessarily. I think a lot of times hitters think they decided not to swing, but the bat actually did swing.
Maybe.
So they don't think that they swung when really they did.
I feel like you know when you go. I feel like you always know when you go. Like you just that, and it's that terrifying feeling. You look back at the umpire and he goes down. And you're like, no, I didn't go. It's, but no, I think I wonder how many you get. Because you could feasibly do it on every single AB almost if a guy.
Yeah, they have to limit it, just like they've done with the ball
Yeah.
and strike reviews in the minor leagues. I think you have a limited number of tries,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I mean, given the batter's choice, they're gonna always review it.
Yeah, I was very wrong about the check swing and where I thought, what did we always hear growing up? If you break the plane of the plate,
Yeah.
But then you have the guys, their hands are all the way across,
but the
front,
bat-
the
the wrist
back.
hasn't-
Yeah, wrist hasn't.
Does it matter if
rolled
the
over?
wrist is broken or not? I don't know.
I feel like if I'm pitching, that's a swing. I feel like if a guy goes all the way out here, he definitely made an attempt to swing at that.
I like
but-
Mudd's definition. If you swing and if you would have made contact and it would have been a double, then that's a swing.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting.
All right, Paulie's got some more news for us
Take it
in
away.
today's Reindl Report.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right. I actually forgot how fitting my first story is for the open that you just heard for the Reindl Report. So I'm sitting at home yesterday, and I was not watching the Paul Feinbaum show on SEC Network.
You weren't?
I wasn't.
I was actually watching it in line at Disneyland.
Well,
the
then you'll
Guardians of the
remember-
Galaxy. It was so good.
You'll remember this
Yeah.
call. Now, look, I don't watch the Paul Feinbaum show. We've played several clips from the Paul Feinbaum show.
It's it's a gold mine.
I think I should start
I
watching
think you should
it
too.
because if you just watch it from a comedy standpoint, this guy, Paul Feinbaum, very well connected in the SEC and all the schools out there. He just rips calls at times when he's not doing interviews. He'll just rip calls, and you have the most insane football fans in the world that will call in and trash him, trash their opponent, trash other callers. It's pretty remarkable. And actually, in the Reindl Report Open, hey Paul, how you doing?
Hey Paul, how are you?
Yeah. Paul, how are you? That was from the Paul Feinbaum show. So this was sent over to me yesterday. A guy named Vance called in to the Paul Feinbaum show. That's all I'm going to say.
Vance is up next. Hello, Vance.
Hey, Paul. This has been yesterday was great. Today's even starting better. Let's see. What can I predict? Jim called 3 times yesterday. It won't be long for y'all's next breakup again. There needs to be a country song.
Did you listen in the background?
There needs to be a country song. Oh, there is. I don't know it. Paul, I watched. What's his name? Stephen A. Smith. He wants to keep crowing that Deion Sanders should be up for Coach of the Year. Will you shut up? I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Hey, Vance, exactly who did you who is there?
My damn cat.
Oh, okay.
I thought he was yelling at his kid.
Anyway. Will you shut up? I'm trying to talk to Paul.
You guys want to hear the rest of the call?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have enjoyed your show the last
Hey,
few
Vance,
days. I think
just
more than I ever have.
out of pure curiosity, what type of cat do you have?
They're 2 feral cats, and I brought them in the house in 2006, Paul.
They're still around?
Yeah, they're old. Good God, these things are like Jim.
But Jim?
And I'm sorry, Jim. I'm just playing with you, brother. I'm just teasing. I like you, Jim.
I'm guessing that was another caller or something that was referenced earlier in the show.
Someone who's old.
Bro,
the hillbilly callers referencing each other and then screaming at their feral cats that they've had for 18
Will you
years.
shut up? I'm trying to talk to Paul.
You need to keep that drop, Paul.
Yeah, save that. It's fantastic.
Exactly who did you who is there?
My damn cat.
It's
okay.
amazing. At first I was like, is that a little kid? Shut up. Look, I've done it. I've done it to my kids. I've done it.
Well, you should.
I've actually said, but to scream
I'm
to my
trying
kids,
to talk to
shut
Paul."
up! I'm trying to talk to Paul. I've actually said that
Yes.
to both of my children.
Will you shut up? I'm
Yeah.
trying to talk to Paul.
Yeah.
That's right. You've yelled at
Except I say-
Hannah. You've yelled at Bo.
I've yelled at it. Yeah,
at Taylor.
definitely. You've heard me yelling at Hannah before. You've heard.
Shut up.
Shut up on the phone.
Will you shut up? I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Trying to plan this holiday extravaganza. It's great. Yeah, save that for sure. Love it.
That's the Paul Feinbaum Show on SEC Network. Another story from the world of sports media and broadcasting. This was high heat with Mad Dog Russo the other day. He had Brian Cashman, GM, and is he president as well?
Yeah,
of the
president of baseball
Yankees?
ops. Yep.
And he was on the show. And again, I'll just let this one speak for itself here. This is Yankees Brian Cashman talking with Mad Dog yesterday.
Give me your thoughts here of finally getting back and winning a pennant after a 15-year, I don't want to say drought, that's not fair, but you understand what I'm saying with the gap. How about winning the pennant? How's that mean to you? Let me hear.
It means a lot, and I hate the 15-year thing because it completely forgets and discounts that some other organization cheated us when we were all the way in the end. You know, if you knew what was going on, I don't think they would be advancing at that during that time thing. I think we would have been advancing. So I hate that 15-year thing because I don't think it accurately reflects history.
I think that's very, very weak.
Who do you think he's referring to?
Well, he's obviously talking about the Astros.
I know.
But he's
Little
also
petty.
he's also talking about himself, right? He's also talking about the Red Sox. He's also talking about the Dodgers. He's also talking about so many teams in baseball that did this. The Astros did.
Well, he said organizations, not just organization that,
Yeah.
that cheated.
Well,
who's-
obviously he's talking about teams in the AL, right? But the Astros have really been the Yankees' Achilles heel in the postseason
So
for
it was just
many
interesting
years.
because like Mad Dog did not ask him about the Astros.
Correct,
We're not
correct.
talking about 2017 anymore.
You know,
and he just
Dodger fans do this all the time too. When I'm arguing with them, well, don't forget we would have won if the Astros hadn't cheated us. And I'm like, your own player, Mookie Betts, said everybody was cheating. Everybody. Everybody.
I am very hesitant to say we know what would have happened.
Correct.
If
And you don't just
in sports.
You don't just crown yourself.
It's possible that if the Astros hadn't cheated, they would have won even easier than they did. We
Yeah.
don't know for sure at all
It's
whether
not
the
like
Dodgers
it's not like they had spare players
or the
out there.
Yankees.
You know what I mean?
I will say, if there is a team that has a really good argument, maybe a better one than the Dodgers, it's the Yankees. And I do understand where Brian Cashman's coming from. 2009 to 2024 does seem like a long run to miss out on going to the World Series. Had they gone in 2017, though, then you're going, okay, we're making a good World Series run every 6-7 years. That's solid. In that 2017 ALCS, went to 7 games. The Yankees won all 3 in the middle at home. The Astros won all 4, the first 2 and the last 2, in their ballpark where they were accused of really a high level of cheating and sign stealing and trash can banging. And they won just the home games in that series. So if any team could ever say, I think we would have won that series if they hadn't had that advantage in their home park. 2-1 win, 2-1 win, 7-1 win, 4-0 win. No, I don't think anything the Astros did was preventing the Yankees from hitting in those games, was it?
No.
And they only scored 3 runs in 4 games in Houston. I don't know that you can say that the cheating prevented them from winning any of those games. Your lack of offense prevented you from winning those games.
Yeah, no question. I mean, you weren't getting the signs, obviously, that nobody was hand delivering you what was coming. But one of their guys, Carlos Beltran, was kind of the guy that started all of this, and he was, again, you just. To go back and say, well, we would have won. We would have won the World Series. We would have won the ALCS had that not happened. I don't know that you can just crown yourself that. And Brian Cashman doing that on public, like a huge, huge show like Mad Dog is kind of embarrassing, I think.
Yeah, it was a weird look.
It's a weird look.
Let's give the Padres a few retroactive World Series titles
Right,
if
exactly.
other teams hadn't been cheating.
That's
Why not?
exactly
We
right.
don't know what would have happened.
Yeah, you don't know what those 98 Yankees were up to. It's really good.
All right, finally, if you are in your car right now or you're listening or watching on YouTube with young children, you could maybe tune out for the next just a couple of minutes.
okay.
As long as you promise to return.
Yeah, come on back.
But I got a story that was sent to me by somebody in this room.
Woods.
Ben actually sent this over.
Oh, boy.
So,
Deviant Ben has made an appearance.
I just got this email. I forwarded it to Paul. That's all I did.
I don't know. But anyways, you will watch during the World Series. You'll see stuff like Taco Bell, for example. Steal a base, steal a taco.
Love it.
Guy steals second base. Everybody in America, you probably got to download the app or something. And you get a free taco. Well,
Slap some cheese on it.
Yeah, slap some cheese on it.
Little Jack in the Box action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday again, Mud. Well, this year for the World Series, the adult entertainment company Cam Soda.
Never heard of
I'm
it.
not familiar with it.
I have to do some research. But Cam Soda, whatever that means, they've got something going on where throughout the World Series, they will be matching all deposits on their platform up to 4 times, up to $100,000, anytime a player achieves a golden sombrero, 4 strikeouts in a game. So that means, and I'm reading just from their press release that was sent out, the more strikeouts, the more boobs users will have the chance to view on their site. Darren Parker, VP of Cam Soda, says America loves baseball, but they also love boobs.
Is that why those 2 Dodger girls were showing their boobs? I saw that the other day. Did you see that? They were probably Cam Soda girls.
I didn't see that. We've seen it in the past.
Yeah.
Somebody sitting right behind the plate.
Yeah.
And it's usually like there was like movie
The movie,
promotions.
that
and stuff.
smile.
Yeah.
That's so creepy.
robots and stuff. So yeah, Taco Bell does their free tacos, stolen bases. This one is going to be golden sombrero happens for any player. You can go onto this website, make donations, and they will be matched.
Should have done it for a double play.
Well, I always thought it
instead.
was odd what they chose as the qualifier.
Well, because you're not
4 strikeouts in a game by a single player.
Are you going to find a lot of those? You know,
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. It's possible. Judge strikes out.
Are they hoping
Stanton
that they
strikes
don't
out.
have to give away any money and
that's
just
why.
getting some free publicity?
Yeah, make a hole in one on this 240-yard par 3, and we're going to give you this new Ferrari.
Yeah, right.
Like, all right.
We had all
Probably not gonna
season
happen.
long, no offense to the sponsors, the perfect game, win a, whatever it was, a
Yeah.
Ford F-150
Sure.
promotion.
Right.
Perfect games are really, really, really rare.
Yeah,
in
very rare.
baseball.
Yeah, they say here sports giveaways have always been a great way to connect with fans. We've seen Taco Bell give away free tacos for stolen bases. Domino's offers free pizza for no hitters. 7-Eleven handing out Slurpees for home runs. I enjoy a Slurpee as much as anyone, but let's be honest, boobs are better.
Yeah.
That's why we're offering something unique this playoff season. If there's a golden sombrero, we'll give our fans free tokens with a matching deposit for age verification so that they can enjoy our content.
Also, the interesting part, he said up to $100,000. If you're putting $100,000 in your Cam Soda account,
My guess is that's a collective 100,000 for
Are you
everyone,
sure?
not per person.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure, but
up to $100,000, they will match or whatever. You have a problem. Also, there's others. There's no limit of the breasts you can find on the internet everywhere. I mean,
It doesn't cost $100,000 either.
doesn't cost a dime if you don't want it to. On the house.
I assume if you're paying premium, though, you're getting better quality. Is that? I mean, that's how it works
Pretty
in
good
most
quality out there.
most places.
You like
The
quality out
more-
there? 'Cause
the
it's
more
out
you
there.
pay, the better you get. Is that not true in this industry?
That's a cam site. So, like, which
It's kind of like, it's closer to like OnlyFans than maybe some of the other websites you're thinking of. But yeah, it's just people in front of a camera soliciting donations.
that always makes me feel weird. It would if I've actually tried it. I mean,
People in front of a camera soliciting donations. Where would any? As I look at our stream and all of our members
doing a
out
gold
there,
member
got a gold
stream
member
tonight.
stream
Here's
tonight.
some boobs for you. I just showed you on the house. On the house. Okay.
Do we need to do some sort of matching promotion on our YouTube member stream?
Adam said he will match all donations for Woodsy's boobs viewing.
That was on the house.
Up to $5.
That was on the
You
house.
can't just give away the merchandise like that.
Yeah, Gaunt says dudes who pay for that are pathetic. I don't know. I don't want to call anybody pathetic, but I don't know.
Or just, progressively minded, that you feel like, hey, I need to be fairly compensating these people for their
work,
their hard work.
Just want to reiterate that story was sent to me
by Ben Higgins.
Ben Higgins.
Yeah, he wanted you to do
I
it.
thought
so
it
that
was
he
just
could comment.
interesting that any company would use an 0 for 4 and 4 strikeouts as their method of choice to, enable their promotion.
Yeah, I agree. But it's possible there's some suspects on there. Muncie's capable of it. Stanton's capable of it. Judge is capable of it. Juan Soto is probably not going to go 4 times, strike out 4 times in a game.
When the Padres strike out 9 batters, you K9 wins with 25% discount at Petco.
How'd you get that email?
Just normal PR email, just like I get all the rest of them.
Targeted, I feel like.
I think everyone at Channel 10 got that email.
Bunch of
List serve.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, speaking of things that are a little risque, we've got our football threesome coming up next. Take a look ahead to the weekend coming up in the National Football League. We'll do that after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
I know it's tough because you've focused so much attention on basketball to also have to kind of work some football prep into your day.
Yeah, it is.
And you're taking the kids to Disneyland all day yesterday.
Ooh, boy.
So if
Safari Park the day before, holy cow.
If you need me to, I can go ahead and lead today's edition of the Football Threesome.
That'd be great. I know you are good at leading threesomes.
Can Ben and Woods interest you in a threesome?
A threesome would be fun.
Oh, not that kind of threesome.
Dang it.
We're talking end arounds, the best tight ends in the world.
He must work out.
And going all the way in this game of inches.
Nice.
It's the NFL Threesome with Ben and Woods. Brought to you by Hamul Casino. Fun above all else on 97.3 The Fan.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
All right, at least come up with a pick against the spread for us in
I got
just
you.
a second. First, though, looking ahead to tonight's Thursday night matchup up at SoFi Stadium. The Minnesota Vikings, coming off their first loss of the season, will visit the Los Angeles Rams at 5:15 p.m. Rams are expected to get wide receiver Cooper Kupp back after he has been injured for I think the better part of the season.
Yep.
He played one game and it has been hurt since the start of the season. Rams are 2-1 at home. Vikings are undefeated on the road. Obviously, this is also a reunion game. Kevin O'Connell was Sean McVay's offensive coordinator during their Super Bowl winning season, and Kevin considers Sean to be one of his best friends in football. So you've got that sideline matchup to look ahead to in tonight's game, and with the World Series not starting until tomorrow, probably one of the more well-rated Thursday night games. I mean, they always do pretty well on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
But this will be one that doesn't have a lot of competition today.
Yeah, zero competition. Well, I mean, the NBA, some NHL as well. But yeah, I'll watch a little bit of that game tonight for sure. Who do you like there?
I kind of like the Rams. What's the current spread on that
-3.
one?
Minnesota -3.
That's it,
Yeah,
huh?
that's it. I kind of like that line.
It's a tempting line for Minnesota.
Rams are talking about just unloading pieces at this point, is what I've read, that they're looking to potentially trade.
Yeah, the trade deadline's coming up. They got to
Yeah.
make kind of a decision.
Yeah.
This game may go a long way toward
To deciding that for
seeing
them.
which way they tip toward buyer, seller, what happens, coming up at football's trade deadline. All right, second part of our football threesome is our matchup to watch this weekend. And I got a kind of one that would not have been a matchup to watch in previous years or even at the beginning of the year. But how about the Chicago Bears?
Washington, that was mine as well.
And the Washington Commanders.
Two juggernauts.
The Bears are 4-2. I believe Caleb Williams had led them to 3 straight wins. Yep. Commanders have been clearly, I think, one of the better teams in the NFC. The big question mark, though, is the status of Jaden Daniels, who took a rib injury and is not certain to play. In fact, I've seen some speculation they probably won't play. That would put a little bit of a damper on this matchup, and it is why I believe the Bears are actually favored in this game from what I've seen. So that makes me think that Las Vegas certainly does not expect Jaden Daniels to be playing, because they have been putting up points and looking really good this season. Washington Commanders fans are more excited now than they've been in a while.
The battle of the Midway, the Midway. The Cowboys and Niners going to be squaring.
I mean,
off.
that was the obvious.
That's your big marquee franchise matchups.
The loser of that game is in a world of hurt.
I really think the Niners will win that game. Dallas is just horrific. They're just horrific. And their kicker had no practice this week because he's going to be in jury duty. So
serving
you
on a
need
jury.
to factor that in as you potentially place your wagers or pick your winners in your survivor pool or whatever. But that was the game that was supposed to be all the rage. The last game on Sunday, the NBC Peacock game, 5:20 on Sunday. No. I mean, it is the two teams that just have not looked good.
I feel like we haven't gotten as many great games this year.
More in college football.
Tom Brady actually complained about it this week. He said, I've done, 7 games so far, 6 blowouts, and it's usually the road team. So it's just, I've been in dead stadiums in the second half.
Just boring as hell.
The Fox team, or he and Kevin Burkhardt?
Yep, Burkhardt.
They keep getting just terrible games every single week. And part of that is you expected, the Niners to be really good and the Cowboys, and they just haven't. So they've gotten a bunch of bad matchups. So we'll see if this one, the Sunday night game, can be a good one this week. All right, finally, the picks. Finally won one last week. I had the Lions. They pulled it out with the late field goal in the game against the Vikings.
As well.
You want to go first here, Woods? Who do you got?
I'm taking the line tonight, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm going to take Minnesota -3. I think they cover fairly easily against the Rams.
All right, even with Cooper Kupp coming back.
Yep.
All right, my pick is I got the Houston Texans, who are 5-point favorites at home against the Indianapolis Colts. The Texans did lose last week, but their only 2 losses this year are against 2 really good teams, Minnesota and Green Bay, who I think the Packers are fairly legit. That was a really close game. Before that, the Texans had won 3 in a row. C.J. Stroud has been very solid at quarterback, and I think the Colts are fine, but they don't scare me that much, especially as a road threat here in a divisional game. So I think Texas wins this one by a touchdown or more. So I've got the Texans of Houston taking it against Indianapolis as my pick this week.
Paulie, you rolling with me tonight?
Yeah,
Same
that was
one?
my favorite line
-3
of the week.
All right, I'm taking it.
All right, and that is our football threesome for a Thursday.
Feels real good.
All right, we will come back. Final segment of Ben and Woods. Wrap things up. I had something that I wanted to bring up. I just had it in my
San
mind.
Diego State basketball related.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. An
Injury update.
Oh, I can do that for sure. All right, yeah, if you haven't heard that news. That's troubling for Brian Dutcher's crew
Troublesome.
here with the season just around the corner. So we'll get to that and a little bit more next here on 97.3 The Fan. Woods, we've almost made it. One more segment, and then tomorrow is World Series Game 1.
Can't wait, man.
Now, it won't have been played by the time we're on the air. It's actually later in the day.
Yeah.
So
5:08.
Technically, we've got another 4 hours of preview coming your way.
Every
for
single
World
game
Series.
at 5:08.
That's very easy to remember.
100%. I love it. It's a good time.
Playoff games have been taking longer this year than they have. The time has, I don't know, maybe it's the pitching changes part of it. I don't know if they've added any time to the commercial breaks.
I'm sure there has been some of that. The no extra or no run rule or no ghost runner.
Yeah, but they've never had in the playoffs ghost runners other than 2020.
Right.
So,
but playoff games.
Are actually longer than they're taking last year. We knew they'd take longer than regular season games. That was obvious, but they've actually taken longer than recent vintage playoff
I think anytime you are sitting and listening to John Smoltz and Joe Davis, it feels like an eternity. Joe Davis puts you to sleep. John Smoltz is like a meth head, just vomiting words.
And they will be calling the World Series. It's on Fox. We don't get TBS or anything.
What about Apple TV? Isn't there some? No? All right.
No. I don't even think. Do they even have like a StatCast broadcast
I
on
hope
FS1?
so.
Baseball, I don't think they do that.
Some sort of secondary
They
feed.
they were doing the Nerdcast, they call it, during the playoffs.
Nickelodeon can't slime the
but
baseball players.
They were
for
doing
us.
like Mike Petriello was doing the Nerdcast, and that was
those were mostly with the ESPN broadcasts though that would do it. I
Is
don't
that
think
right?
Fox is
so
jumped into that arena.
we're just
yet.
stuck with these two.
I mean, you can.
You can mute it and listen to something else.
You can try to whatever John Sterling and get their app going.
Maybe.
And listen, sync it up with
Sync it up.
Yankees radio is probably your best bet there. He ever call you back, Paulie? After earlier this week? No,
I didn't bother him anymore.
Right, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Got other things to focus on at the moment. So anyway, World Series Game 1 tomorrow night in Los Angeles. All right, we'll check traffic. And then I did remember, actually, the other thing I wanted to mention besides Aztecs basketball. We'll do that next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Ulta Beauty. Wrapping up our morning drive with a couple of problems along West 8. One is this collision just past Murray Ridge. Several vehicles involved. They're blocking the slow lane. Up ahead, right before Taylor Street, got another accident. This one involves a couple cars. It's over the right shoulder. The Emerald City came to Ulta Beauty with wicked collaborations from REM Beauty by Ariana Grande. It brushes for Ulta and OPI. Hurry in, these fantabulous products won't last long. See Wicked November 22nd, only in theaters. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Don't think we had this news before the end of the show yesterday, and Paulie and I can't remember because we did mention the Aztecs and their their scrimmage win over UCLA and the fact that they weren't healthy entirely for it. But unfortunately, had the news yesterday from the UT that Reese Waters, who's one of their few veteran returning players from last season's Sweet 16 team, is going to miss at least 6 to 8 weeks with a stress fracture in his right foot. And that is pretty important news. Not because, the Aztecs can't still put together a team around him, but there's a lot of big games early in the season with Gonzaga and the tournament in Las Vegas. And if they're going to be without Reese Waters for those games, it's going to be way harder to put together the NCAA tournament resume that you'd like to build in those first couple of months without your full team together.
Back for conference play, though, which is important, right?
8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks,
right
around conference play. So, I mean, look, if you can weather that storm early, and somebody steps up, Benny, you get him back for conference play, and let the chips fall where they may. But yeah, there's no way around it. I mean, it's a big, big injury.
Yeah, obviously he was bummed, but seemed to have a good attitude. His quote was, I disappointed, but then I realized, okay, this isn't the end of my career.
Right.
I'm going to, get my rest, get in the boot, come back, and, hopefully guide this team to a Mountain West title and into the NCAA tournament. And he absolutely still can do that. But you're already relying on a bunch of freshmen and underclassmen. Even with Reese Waters, that just adds another one to the mix. And they have some transfers like Wayne McKinney, who was at USD, who's a veteran guard. The other kid from Brown, Kimo Ferrari. Guys who have played on the D1 level before that can possibly step in. We just don't know much about this team. It's a big surprise what we're going to see for the Aztecs when they start. And we're less than 2 weeks away. November 6th is the opener against UCSD. When's November 6th?
It's a Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, 2 weeks
Taylor's
from yesterday.
birthday.
So, yeah,
Your
getting
beloved,
closer.
Your beloved Taylor's 4th birthday.
Congratulations. Oh, he's not 4 yet. He's still 3. 3. Going to be 4.
Yep.
Okay, the other story that I had seen yesterday, and I just wanted to bring up. So we know that the MLS is coming to San Diego. San Diego FC announced their first home game is going to be on March 1st at Snapdragon Stadium. First road game is a week before that against the LA Galaxy. But I never really thought about it or talked about it. But the fact that the MLS season is essentially late February through October, it's kind of a bummer for San Diego sports fans.
Correct.
And that's also our exact Padres season, from spring training right through the playoffs. And not that you can't, be a fan of two teams that overlap. We do it all the time in sports. It really
we don't.
No,
Here,
we don't. Here.
Like we don't. Other cities do.
It really would have been nice if you could have had something that filled the gap between the end of baseball season and the start of the next baseball season, which is why when I saw this rumor that was floating out yesterday, I got kind of excited about it, that the MLS is considering switching from a summer schedule to a fall-winter schedule that essentially would start probably around October, and then the season would end in March and April at the end of the year. And that would be perfect for San Diego FC, where they could take all those eyeballs that are looking for a way to fill the empty days between the end of baseball season and the start of spring training and jump right over to soccer and really give it your all. Like, be completely invested in your soccer team without feeling like, oh, I'm missing a Padres game tonight to go to a soccer game, or vice versa. You won't have to do that really if they make that switch.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. You're not going to get my full attention. You're just not. And I'm more of a casual soccer fan anyway. And if you wanted to get my full attention, yeah, your season would be kicking off today, right? Like tomorrow. Like I'd still watch a World Series. Who am I kidding? But you know what I'm saying. Like if the season kicked off today, guess who's all in with his scarf and having a ball? Me, your old pal Woodsy, cheering for the new squad. So it's just tough, man. You're not going to get my full attention during baseball season. I know this is a big soccer town. I know that they will get a lot more attention from other people, but not anybody on this show.
Elisa makes the point. If you're gonna buy, you can't buy season tickets and use them for both.
Right.
There will almost certainly be too many overlaps to think that you can go to every Padres game and every San Diego FC game. It just doesn't seem feasible. Now, the Padres will be on the road. There'll be off days. You can certainly go check out San Diego FC. Or if you're a soccer fan, obviously they don't play more than once, maybe twice a week at most. So you got plenty of time to go to baseball games. But to really be a diehard of both is going to be tough in the summer.
But what about the East Coast teams, as Dominic brings up? What about East Coast teams? Are they going to go October through March? Not real feasible.
I'm not sure what that looks like. I mean,
so you said it's just a rumor.
Yeah, but it was like real MLS people who were talking about that is something they're discussing.
It's too cold, dude.
A fall-spring schedule.
You can't do it. You can't do it. Well, they have teams up and down the eastern seaboard.
Yeah, the New England Revolution.
They're like, we quit. We're done. I'm not doing this. I'm not signing up for that.
They don't all play indoors, right? Some of them play outside. A lot of those MLS
don't they mostly
stadiums
play outside?
I don't know. That's a good question as well.
You can tell we're very newbies to the.
Well, that's part of part of learning your sport. This is part of it. So we're trying to dip our toe into the water.
Thank you, Brandon. Brandon in the chat says the Seals fill the gap with the best PA announcer in the business. That's me, and I let you guys know something. I guess I'll let everybody know now. My Cal Ripken streak is coming to an end in March. I will miss my very first home game.
I mean, it's not exactly Ripken-esque at this point.
It's better than Ripken-esque. Better. More.
Because you only do the home games.
Correct.
Ripken had to do all the home and road games.
What, like 40 games?
And baseball season is 162.
I've never missed a game.
Seal season, how many games in the entire season?
12,
20,
14,
like 10, like 10 to 12 at home every year. So, like, maybe twice a month you showed up for your job that you're paid to do?
Correct.
and you didn't miss a day.
Yeah,
Congratulations
How many games
for
did Cal Ripken's streak go?
Oh, it's like 2,500 or something.
It's basically the same.
Sucks, man.
And why are you missing a game?
Be out of town.
Out of town.
Going to Vegas with the family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that same reason Cal Ripken's streak came to an
Yeah,
end, right?
Sorry, guys. Got a family vacation. Wife planned it. Yeah. Never missed a home game.
Got to go see the Deftones.
Yes. Yep. Got the whole package.
Cal, we're in a pennant race.
Sorry, I've got a meet and greet, and the whole family's going out. We're taking the kids to Vegas. There's nothing I can do about it. But I haven't to miss it. Suggested you as a fill-in.
You suggested me.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds from that
tepid
like
response.
It was, like,
back.
shot
It was
down
tepid.
immediately.
Yeah, it was a tepid response. The
not
fear,
necessarily a glass banger.
that was the fear.
They're like, nah, we're good.
That was the fear that the quote was, I don't see Ben getting wild and crazy like you do.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Pechanga Arena.
They don't
for
want
tonight's.
They don't want a puker in there. They don't need that. They
NLL matchup.
They don't need that. They don't need a puker.
See,
they
I'm
need,
a puker.
Yeah, you're a puker.
I'm a PA puker.
That's why you love Joe Davis.
Should we host auditions for your replacement on our show?
I think that would be brilliant, and I think the Seals
If the Seals would like to do
love
that, I will commit to a public tryout week for any tier ones who want to fill in for Woods as the Seals.
They may have somebody in mind already, but it'd be great content, and you'll never, obviously it's going to be different, but yeah, I don't think you could get in there and do what I do.
Fans, your attention, please. Louder. Louder.
No. Louder.
Louder, please.
Louder, please.
Louder, please.
You got to bang on the glass a little bit.
People, I'm asking you to be louder.
I want them to put our audience through what they put me through. It was the worst day of my life. I ended up getting the job, and it's been a friggin' blast. But holy cow, was that some nerve-wracking.
Did you have to go on the casting couch, or what's going
Pretty
on?
much. It was like a casting table, and it was very, very nerve-wracking. Stop looking around for it, Paulie. I don't want to hear it. So I see his eyes darting back and forth to all as many screens. I don't want to hear it again. But yeah. So I don't know what to do. I feel a little naked, not being there. But when you put in as many hours as I have in that booth, man, it's tough to see it come to a street.
Can't Joe Tsai just get like the private jet to get you back and forth from Vegas real quickly for the game?
Actually, he could. Friday night, he could shuttle me off to Vegas after the game, and then I could spend the time with my family and
see how important you really are to the franchise.
We got some. We have some Sunday games this year that I'm very excited about.
Oh, yes. You don't have to do the drive on Friday night in traffic. That's cool.
Like 3:00 games, too, which is great. Like, that's perfect for me. I'm not up all night.
That's because the Sockers have moved out to their own place up in Oceanside. Opens up a few more dates at Pechanga Arena.
I can't wait for Seal season. Get your tickets now, sealslax.com.
Maybe Craig wants to put his hat in the ring. He's already the Wave announcer. Maybe he'd like to do a Seals game as well. All right, that's it for us. We will be back tomorrow morning for the Friday edition of Ben and Woods at 6 a.m. Until then, enjoy the Annie and Elston program. For executive producer Paul Reindl, for Stephen Woods, for that guy's cat, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Thursday from all of us here at 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.